Welcome back to the Hivemind Recap Podcast. 2023 has begun.
Woo.
We're a few months late. If you missed our update video, shit happened basically. Whatever, we're moving on. We're actually talking about music now from the new year. With that being said, we have combined January and February into this single recap. A, because we are a few months behind and we need to catch up. B, which we'll get into later. The early months of this year, general consensus, I believe, left us all underwhelmed for the most part. There were some exceptions.
There are
some exceptions, and we will be talking about those exceptions later today. But be sure to stick around as we talk around all the singles and EPs and albums that stuck out to us. Actually, there's not a single EP in this playlist. Only albums. Only albums. Justin, Derek, Jacob, how are you guys feeling today?
Good to be back.
What's been going on?
Yeah.
I'm not sick anymore.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Took a while, but we made it.
We made it.
I survived.
Love it.
This is our first time recording an episode where no one's sick in like 4 months at least.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you just jinxed it.
You did jinx it. We're all
Somebody's gonna puke by the end.
Damn it, my bad.
What have you done?
I started this podcast. Anyway,
yeah.
Since we've got a lot of time to catch up on like let's talk about concerts. I have been to a concert. I went to a concert. However, I'll be saving that one for the March recap when we get there. Any of you guys go to any concerts in January or February this year? I know Jacob, you at least went to one.
I went to one in February. It was Garden and Sewer Person.
Still so jealous.
Yes.
And yeah, it was really fun. I got to meet Garden, and he knew who I was, which was kind of crazy. After I told him and explained to him, it was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. There's also some funny pictures of him reacting to that moment. So
that's really cool.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
If only one day.
Derek will get his moment.
And it was the coldest day of the year, of course. So that was really fun.
That checks out. You live in Canada. You live in Canada. Deserved.
Minus 19 degrees plus wind chill. I don't know how.
Jeez.
Gross.
Nope, fuck
Celsius.
that.
Celsius.
That's still gross. I don't know what that translates to in Fahrenheit, but that's still disgusting.
But yeah, that's it for beginning of the year. I've only went to that. No.
Yeah, I haven't gone
bad luck.
to anything yet. Nothing's really stuck out for me yet this year. Like the only thing that I would really want to go
There's been a few
to.
decent announcements, but
The only thing I would really want to go to is the Bad Omens Sexy Stars Era concert, and that sold out before I blinked.
Yeah.
I have like 3 concerts like the first weekend of May, or the first week of May. It's like Spirit Box, then Wage War, and then August Burns Red and The Devil Wears Prada. Like
God
all within
damn.
like 5 days.
Jeez.
that's crazy. That's absurd. That'll be fun to talk about, I'm sure, when it happens.
Yeah.
Just gonna be sitting here mauled.
Which concert did that happen at again? Anyways, that's May. May's gonna be a fun month. I guarantee.
Yeah.
There's some good albums coming out in May too.
Yes. We'll be talking about some singles for some May albums later. But with that being said, I don't know if there's too much more to talk about. We should get right into the singles for this month, since we are combining 2 months into one episode here. Before we do, be sure to follow us on social media at HiveMindRadio_ on Instagram and Twitter. Help us get to 100 subscribers on YouTube. We're very close. Would love to hit the triple digits. That would be awesome. And be sure to follow us on Spotify as well. Let's talk about some music. We're going to be talking about January singles first, and then February, unless there's some bands that release songs in both January and February. We'll be grouping those together, which is where we start with. Concrete Castles have released 2 brand new songs, one song in January and one in February. Let's talk about Dollhouse first.
I'm so over it. Trying to figure you out.
Concrete Castles are going to be releasing one single a month until a album that will drop in August or September. So
We don't
Dollhouse
know.
is the first of 8. I'm not sure. They say 8 singles, so whether that means that like the final single coincides with the album release in August, or that means the final single and then the album comes after, I don't know yet. What I do know is that Concrete Castles are on a tear, and Dollhouse is like maybe my favorite song by them.
Really?
And if
Oh,
if Dollhouse is not my favorite song, Running from the Daylight is.
Damn. Okay. So you and I are we're on the same page, but also at odds, because I think that Dollhouse is like a bottom 3 Concrete Castle song.
Damn,
But
that
Running from the Daylight's like top 3, you know? So
Dollhouse has one of the catchiest choruses I have heard in a long time. One of the catchiest choruses I've heard all year for sure. Just that I'm so over it, just trying to figure you out. Just the repetitiveness of that chorus is just, you can sing along to that. You can bop your head. It's so catchy, so well written.
I think it's that's a good live song.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think seeing that live would definitely change my opinion on it. And I also
Yeah.
want to say that like a bottom 3 Concrete Castle song is still like
Really
before
good.
8. So
Fair, yeah. Bottom 3 Concrete Castle song for you still goes into the playlist, is what you're saying?
no, but it's close.
Okay. Well, whatever. I also really appreciate like the 4-second breakdown that this song gets before the final chorus.
Yeah, right. That's
Came out of
Concrete
nowhere.
Castle's coming a little. I think that first album had a lot of like pop, maybe a little bit of electronica to it. This one
Yep.
definitely feels like it's got some more edge
Leaning
to
more
it.
into rock, yeah, a lot more edge. And you're talking to the guy who put Mothka in my top 5 albums of last year, and Dollhouse feels like it's literally just following in Nocturnal's footsteps and just like kind of creepy aesthetic dark pop. I mean, this song's about like the lyrics are about like a dollhouse, like dollhouse point of view. Dolls are like, there's a connection to like horror and creepy aesthetic with dolls and stuff like that. So there's definitely a connection, and this just checks off all the boxes for me. Which leads us into Running from the Daylight, which just continues the darker trends that they are going on this year. And it's just, I love it. I have not been able to put this song down. As I said, if Dollhouse is not my favorite Concrete Castle song, it's Running from the Daylight. I'm leaning towards Running from the Daylight at this point, but it's close. And either way, these two singles still blow Wish I Missed You out of the water, and Friendly Reminder, that was a top 10 album of 2021. So
Well, I'm still on Wish I Missed You. I think that's my favorite Concrete Castle song.
Top 5 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Concrete Castle are just so good. They're just so good. And the consistency that they're able to put out music is incredible as well. When it comes to Running from the Daylight, I love the guitar riff in this song. It's so bouncy and fun. And then the lyric in the second verse, the delivery on I want the nightmares, I want the voices in my head, I want them taking control. The delivery on that line has really stood out to me as well. In general, this song continues with that darker instrumentation that I loved in Dollhouse and still love in this song. You get a really sick, it's like, I don't know whether to call it a breakdown, but like the bridge is definitely very groovy. A lot heavier than Concrete Castle's older material for sure. And again, this song's just checking all the boxes for me, and I love it.
Spoilers alert, everyone. Jake ate good for these first 2 months.
Yeah.
I ain't
I
good
feel
on the singles.
you and Jake both really, these first 2 months were, even if there weren't as much strong material, like, well, I guess December too, but I feel like December through February was very stagnant for me, and maybe a little bit for Jacob too. I don't want to speak for him, but you two had a lot of stuff.
I had one artist.
I'll admit, I think out of this January, February playlist, I think only like 2 from January carried over. February really carried this.
Yeah, February really carried. There are only like 6 songs in this playlist from January.
Yeah, it's rough.
I've come to the
Anyway.
conclusion that Jake likes women.
Yes.
Jake has beaten the gay allegation.
Wait, there were gay
I was
allegations?
so out of the blue, and I don't know why I lost my shit on that. Jesus Christ.
I mean, it ain't really a secret that I kind of love women in rock and metal.
Yeah,
Consistently
like-
been some of
it's
my
not
favorite songs
wrong.
this year. And in general, like Rivals, Future Palace, as everything unfolds, Mothica. Y'all taking the hint yet?
I like the idea that like he was conducting a investigation, and like over the course of 3 years, he's now concluded that Jake likes women. Like, 3 years of podcast episodes, and he's like, "Yup, this guy definitely likes girls."
Speaking of, Jake, you want to hit us with another female vocalist?
Yeah. Let's get into it. Let's get into potential song of the year, actually. Phantom
shit.
Elite, Inner Beast. The lead single for their album Blue Blood, which came out in March. We'll be talking about that in our next episode. This song blew me away from the moment I first heard it, and as it stands, I believe is my most listened to song this year.
Wow.
We're starting off strong this month for me. Yeah, the riff on this song is nuts. It's so punchy and crisp, and again, it kind of has that like kind of dark pop horror aesthetic. It's very atmospheric, very kind of creepy vibes. You get a very deep sounding bass and super powerful vocals in the chorus to contrast it, and it's just right up my alley. Phantom Elite traditionally have been more of a symphonic metal band in a way, I guess, kind of more aligned with like an Ad Infinitum, or like an Amaranth, or what other bands? Metalite is another one. We haven't talked about them on the podcast, but kind of more in like the symphonic metal space, power metal, somewhere in that kind of area. However, with this song, there is very little remnant of their last album on this song, as far as I can tell. This feels like a very, I don't want to say harsh change, but this feels like a change in direction for sure, and I love it. The riffs are incredible. Her vocals are fantastic. I love the implementation of the uncleans in the bridge, which is something that was very seldom used on their last album, Titanium. And instrumentally, it just kicks ass. I cannot get enough of this song. When I teased potential song of the year, I said it last year when talking about Atonement by Conquer Divide. There's a theme around the word lullaby, where Lullaby was my song of the year 2021. Atonement had a lyric involving lullaby, and Inner Beast has a lyric in the chorus that says, "You feed my inner beast with a violent lullaby." So I'm just gonna
come to the conclusion that Jake likes lullaby.
If Jake had a woman
Alright.
to sing him a lullaby every night, it would be over for him.
Maybe I shouldn't just like live in my mom's basement.
She could come sing you a lullaby.
I think Jake just had an epiphany.
Maybe I'm missing out.
Jake, I think we single-handedly like cured his social anxiety just because like I need somebody to sing me a lullaby every night. Like, I think I just found him on Tinder, guys. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Not that I was swiping for local men in Connecticut in their younger 20s.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You're digging yourself a bigger hole there. Come on.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Had to mute my phone. Grinder just gave me a notification.
Jesus Christ.
All right, do you guys have any thoughts on this song by Phantom Elite?
It's good.
While we're here, good. I'll take it.
I
I'll
will
save-
say the start of it's really good. I love the slow fade into the riff.
Yes.
Electronic riff is so good.
It's
Something
so
about the
fucking
song is
good.
holding me back from loving it, but that instrumentally, it's undeniable.
Yeah. That's the thing with Titanium in 2021 when I first discovered them. Instrumentally, this band has always been sick. I think back to songs like Glass Crown and Conjure Rains. Instrumentally, those songs are still fantastic, but vocally, it leaned more into that traditional symphonic metal type of vocal delivery that I didn't love. This feels much more aligned with like a post-hardcore delivery and song in general, and I love it. The last thing I want to mention before moving on is just the way that the chorus changes throughout the song. The first chorus is delivered as a build-up into the electronic riff. The second chorus is just like a traditional chorus that leads into the bridge, but the final chorus, you have like a dropout for the first two lines of the chorus before you like smash the instruments back in with the main riff. And just the diversity that this song brings is just incredible. I love this song, and we will be talking about Blue Blood in the March recap. That's all I'll say. Speaking of blood, actually, Derek, take it away.
Sullivan
on this next
King.
one.
Yep, Sullivan King has dropped a new single that is a title track off of an album that is now released called Thrones of Blood. I really like that Sullivan King, probably what, 7 years ago now? God, I feel old. Started to really pioneer the incorporation of metal into EDM and into like dubstep and raves in general. And he's now mostly like making music that feels like rock or metal, and then occasionally some electronic influences thrown in there. At least the solo stuff. And I think this is a really good indication of that. It's rock mixed with a little bit of drum and bass, and then some in the middle. I was enjoying it. I'm like, this is up pace. Like I would like work out or like run to this song type of thing. And then it goes into this sudden like dark, the guitar tone drops and it builds to this EDM break that lasts for like 45 seconds, like this almost drum step, like I don't even know, but I love that merging of genres like that, and I think that Sullivan King is doing it flawlessly. I haven't had a chance to listen to this album yet, but this is the title track off of it. It's very kind of mindless, up tempo. The lyrics are nothing to like gawk at or anything like that. Like it's just about.
It's just supposed to be like feel good. It's just supposed to sound good. It's not supposed to mean much.
Right. It's fun. It's really fun to listen to, and I love it. I love everything that Sullivan King is doing. The evolution of his sound over the past couple of years has been incredible, and his solo stuff continues to just impress the shit out of me.
I have not listened to much Sullivan King since the 2021 album dropped, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Was it
late
2021?
2021, I think.
Yeah, I haven't listened to Sullivan King much. This is the first new song of his I've heard since that album, I believe. I might have heard one other single in between, but it didn't stick out. This is really good, actually.
Right?
This is really good. It blends the line of that rock and EDM influence that you were talking about. How do I say? It's like there's not too much wub-wubs to take me out of the experience, which has been my problem with some of his other songs. This leans more into like a rock or metal song than EDM, and I think that's why I like it more. Whereas there are other songs that just go full on dubstep drop, and then I'm kind of staring at my screen the same way I would during a Lorna Shore song.
Distinct lack of wubbage, if you will.
This is solid.
This came out, the album dropped in March, and I still need to listen to it. I don't even if I like it, I don't want to put it in the playlist because God knows we got enough to talk about. But if there's any others like this, I will definitely let you know. This goes into, I don't remember the last time I had two songs back to back in a playlist. I haven't had to do this in a while. She Loves Boone has dropped their newest single, White Noise, featuring Cybertrash. I was in my hyperpop era in January. Something clicked with me, and I went and added 60 hyperpop songs to a playlist for no reason. I don't know what it is. My ever expanding genre love has finally brought me to hyperpop. I still hate 100 Gex, but everything else is starting to come together. And in that, Cybertrash is probably my favorite artist that I discovered out of all that, as well as one of my favorite artists that I've discovered all year. Only as a feature on this, but I love how even if the lyricism isn't necessarily as, you know, kind of upbeat or happy, it's a very fast-paced, upbeat, up-tempo song. It's really, really fun to listen to, and she loves Boone's voice. I love the way that Cybertrash comes in on this. The song itself is about like doubting a relationship that you're in because of your own inadequacies. Let's see. I don't want to put you in a mood that you won't leave. I wish I knew what to do with you and do with me. Maybe there's a world for you and me to go and see, but it's hopeless. We keep choking. Am I just a nuisance? Words can get annoying. Sweet nothing's in your ear. They're not important. Such a Taurus, hard-headed, heading home. I'd rather be at odds than ever be alone. And it's really something that, like, not necessarily all the way across, for the most part, really resonated with me in my struggles with like relationship anxiety or whatever. And it's put to this upbeat, up-tempo background, and this sort of genre of music is one that I've always kind of been on the fence on. I say always. I've been on the fence about it for about a year and a half now. But I finally made the bridge over into it, and I'm so happy that I did, because this is fantastic. And Cybertrash's music as well is kind of hyper pop, but there's a lot of like rock or pop punk influences in his solo work too. So it kind of blends those two genres in a way that's really cool to see, and also makes it more accessible to me as somebody who's finally getting into it. But I loved this.
I liked this more than I expected to. I still don't love it, but it definitely has a fun vibe to it, a fun energy.
Yeah, exactly. There were a couple that I was debating between picking that all came out in January, and I figured that this one would probably be the most accessible to the rest of you as well. Justin or Jacob, did you guys get to this one?
I did, but I'm indifferent on it.
Yeah.
I'm also indifferent. It sounds like some of the stuff that I get off of like TikTok for you pages.
Man, I need to get on your TikTok, bro. I don't get any music on mine. I wish I could. Help me discover some new stuff.
Dude, it's been giving me a lot of new stuff, so I'll try and send somebody your way, because I think some of it's
Let's
pretty
go.
good.
Hopefully my algorithm will get the get the hint. And now we're back to the Jake train with two new singles.
Yeah. As everything unfolds, have dropped 2 new singles, one in January, one in February. We're grouping them together. First up, the lead single for their upcoming album, Ultraviolet. It's the single Ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet, setting the highlights of my life, seeing colors clear.
And this single is definitely my favorite single going into the album. The album comes out in April. Very excited for it. Following up Within Each Wise, the other, one of my top 10 albums of 2021. And As Everything Unfolds are well on their way for another top 10 album of the year contender at the very least. Ultraviolet has an incredible riff. It's ambient when it needs to. It's heavy when it needs to. It's catchy in the chorus when it needs to. It's just a really solid song all around, in my opinion. Lyrically as well, I love the incorporation of like ultraviolet and like seeing color type of thing. Like you can only see certain colors through ultraviolet light. That feels like the gimmick of the song and the album, of just like seeing life in all of its colors type of thing. And I really like that metaphor and the way it was implemented into this song, as well as I said, the instrumentation. The main riff on this song is fantastic. Charlie's vocals on the take it all back, the delivery on the in your eyes, where like she belts out eyes in like a harsh scream, is just sick. For the post-chorus and the breakdown, actually, it's just really good. I just really like this song. You guys have any
Both
thoughts
of
on
these-
Ultraviolet?
I was gonna say both of them, but especially Ultraviolet. This really feels like a step up from their previous album. All these singles have, really. I feel like everything that I liked about As Everything Unfolds prior is still present, and everything that I had gripes with is slowly starting to fade away. And I've loved Ultraviolet, Flipside, and honestly every single, and I love the aesthetic that they're going for.
Yeah.
This album with the purple.
More
It's
bands
so
need to do
nice.
black and purple, please.
Yep,
Please.
I agree.
Enough of the
Such an
black and
unbeatable
red.
color
We've
scheme,
seen it done
right?
enough.
Yeah, black and purple. Shout out to my Wizard 101 gear. Always black and purple. Day one. They're speaking to me. It's all coming together. There is a world where this album lands in my top 10. If I had to pick like one dark horse that's
Alright.
currently out there right now, it's this, because these singles are damn good.
Yeah. Let's start talking about Flipside because as much as I love Ultraviolet, that song's 4 minutes long. Flipside is a 2-minute 39-second heater of a song.
My relief, so that this life isn't quite what you wanted to say.
It is in your face, it is heavy, and I love it. This Flipside is so replayable, and lyrically, I think I connect to this song even more. So I have a hard time picking between these two as for which one's my favorite. I think Ultraviolet's the better song, but I feel like I've definitely listened to Flipside more at this point. The lyric of I spin in circles, or as I spin in circles, all I see are lights while my mind is working overtime, living life on the flip side. That shit hits deep as someone that tends to overthink many unnecessary things very often. And then the delivery changes halfway through the song. Like the pace of the song is so fast where you get at the beginning it's just I revel in every moment, I smile in my relief that this life isn't quite what you wanted to see. But then at the end it's I revel in every moment on the flip side, I smile in my relief on the flip side that this life isn't quite what you wanted to see, before it goes into the crazy riff that Flipside offers as well. Really good songwriting and delivery, and yeah, Ultraviolet is shaping up to be absolutely a top 10 album of the year contender as far as I'm concerned. I do enjoy me some women in rock and metal, to no one's surprise, hopefully.
It's all coming together.
Shock and awe.
Yeah. There was at one point, I believe 4 of my top 5 songs of the year were just female fronted bands, so you know, it'd be like that.
I just looked at this playlist. We don't get a Jacob song till track 17. That is odd.
There's some before.
It's fine. He'll have his moment later on. It's all right.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
There were a lot of singles that dropped
Fighting
in
his
those
time.
2 month period. It makes up for it.
Yeah.
All right,
Justin, take us away on this
take
next
it
one.
away. Yeah. Take
Oh,
it
I'm
away,
so
Jack.
excited about this one. This is Emery Heights with their new track, Riptide. We went a long stint of getting news of like new Emery stuff, and then it just suddenly like not dropping. Rocky dropped in December, shortly after the Miles Away EP, and I didn't really catch too on with Rocky when that dropped.
Yeah, me either.
But-
Me either.
Oh my god, this is the best Emery Heights song since that EP, Clarity. Was it called? Yeah, it was called Clarity.
Yeah. I
Uh,
can't say that Riptide is their best song. I still think that Wildflower is very, very good. And that's my favorite. But this is definitely a solid song.
So
And it doesn't
this-
surprise me that you love it this much, because this is quintessential Justin post-hardcore as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, absolutely. No, so this one of my favorite songs from them before this was Clarity. And it's got a very similar structure to Clarity, where you get a really good like cleans verse into a chorus, and then you get a second cleans verse that ends off with a harsher, almost unclean send off into the third chorus, and then you get a breakdown into the last chorus. It's got a very similar structure to this, and it sounds different enough, and the vocalist has definitely escalated to the point where it's such a different sound, even though it's like that same rhythm that you think would probably get uninteresting. It works so much well in this, and his voice is only so much better. He's got a really good clean vocals that really blends well
Definitely.
once it hits that harsher octave, and I was super impressed with this. We're supposedly getting a new Emery Heights in May, and if they keep up with this, dude, Emery Heights is back on my radar.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Pick Your Poison was solid off the Miles Away EP, but the other 2 singles were kind of lackluster.
Mm,
Riptide is promising. A promising start to
Riptide.
2023 for Emery Heights.
it is some good stuff. Derek, Jacob, did you guys get to this?
I did. I am unfortunately indifferent as I am with most of like this style of music. I'm
Yep.
sorry. Yeah, I think
It's
I
just
think
like
we-
background noise, honestly.
Yeah, and it's not even bad. Like I'm not. It's not bad. It's just
Yeah.
kind of. This isn't what I. This kind of. I'm. Sorry. I had like 4 thoughts, and it kind of came together. And I had my first stroke of the
Oh.
episode.
There we go.
First stroke of
First
the
of
year,
Let's
2023.
go.
You said the thing. Yeah, I think that hard rock nowadays is just not something that I'm super into unless it like really, really floors me or feels like it's doing something new. And this is solid. Don't get me wrong. Like this is an objectively good song. It's just for what I'm feeling and what I'm into nowadays. It's not quite hitting that mark for me. I think me 4 or 5 years ago would have ate this shit up like breakfast, bro. But nowadays I'm just not super feeling it. But I know how high you are on it, which means that I will continue to listen to every Emery Heights release until I get one, and we can bake a cake. We can have a little celebration. I finally got one.
I think to kind of echo what you said, like hard rock in general is a genre that's way too oversaturated to the point where like it's really easy to not do it well or do it to the point where it gets really, really, really generic. So I'm okay with those opinions because it's very easy to come to that. I just like it because it sounds good and it makes me smile. Speaking of bands that sound fantastic and make me smile, we got 2 releases from Archetypes Collide. January they dropped What If I Fall, and in February they dropped Parasite.
What if I fall and waste away the life that I have made? What if I fail and let down everyone?
This also came with the announcement of their debut self-titled album.
Which at
About
this point has dropped.
Fucking time.
It's about fucking time.
It's been a long ass time since it was early 2019 when I forget if it was me or you, Justin, that found this.
It was one of us.
But it was one of us too. We found them, and it's just been single after single after single after single after single. Finally, we got the announcement of the debut album and the realization that, wait, you're telling me I get to hear more than one song from this band in a single day? That's crazy.
It's super wild. And
we'll be
first,
talking
here's
about,
2 more.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the album in full next month. But let's talk about these 2 singles first.
Well, as I was about to say, these are like 2 of 3. The only other single that was dropped before the album was My Own Device.
Yes.
Everything else before that, like Undertow, wasn't even on the album.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a lot of confidence to like drop only 3 singles leading up really quickly to an album. And fuck, they were confident, and man, it sounds fantastic. Both these songs are really good.
What If I Fall feels reminiscent of Above It All or One More Night for me. Above It All, one of their weaker songs in recent memory. One More Night being arguably my favorite song of theirs. And this feels like it blends the 2 styles together in having emotional lyrics that really can like hit your heart while also being kind of more melodic and not super poppy, which I feel like One More Night was kind of radio rock-ish, where this feels it feels like a post-hardcore song. You get the breakdown at the end. I could make an argument that like maybe the breakdown isn't really necessary in a song like this, but honestly, it's a good breakdown. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like at that point, I'm really just like nitpicking and like we're opening up the multiverse at that point of like how many different universes are there where What If I Fall has a breakdown or doesn't have a breakdown, or if it's an acoustic ballad or whatever the fuck. This song, What If I Fall, is still great. That lyric of just What If I Fall is just really powerful. And it was a great single to announce the debut album with, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I'm basically an echo what you say here. Like, it does a really good job of blending their slower style vocals while not making it super drowned out and kind of uninteresting like Above It All was. This song does a really good job. It clicked with me instantly as soon as it dropped.
Yes.
On the contrary, Parasite really didn't click with me when it dropped. I was not convinced by it. but now that
On the contrary to you, Parasite clicked with me immediately.
Yeah, I've had more time with this immediately, more than What If I Fall, and Parasite turned out to be my favorite of the two.
Hell yeah, I like to see it. That's not what I expected from you. Yeah, basically, What If I Fall is a great song, but the moment I heard the social media teaser of the riff in Parasite, it was over for me. I knew this song was going to be like, I knew this was going to be the best single for the album. And I knew from the teaser I had high expectations going in, and they did not drop the ball. The chorus of this song, if Dollhouse doesn't have my favorite chorus of the year, Parasite is in contention for it right now. I trusted a lie that I thought would keep me safe. Twisted lines infected my mind, redefined what I once dreamed, held hostage by the pain. Parasite, just lyrically, it feels very complex, but it all makes so much sense at the same time. It's so concise and complex, and I just love the way it all comes together, and the delivery on it as well is great. Parasite's definitely much more of a metalcore song than a post-hardcore song. Very different to What If I Fall. The main riff in this song as well, as I mentioned from the teaser, hooked me immediately.
I love the chorus, like the transition from the verse into the chorus. It's almost like whiplash, because you wouldn't think it would be like super, like somewhat slowed down, kind of lower energy than the verses. But it works super well. Yeah. And as you said, like the lyrics are really good. If there's anything that these singles have, it's really, really good lyricism.
Definitely.
I feel like I'm kind of the opposite of you guys on these singles, or the opposite of Justin, I guess, where I'm not very high on What If I Fall, and I think it's after hearing the album, this is kind of a spoiler, I think it's one of the worst songs on the album. And
I'm okay with that.
And I think Parasite is one of the best songs on the album.
Yeah,
so I'm going to disagree with you. Parasite is one of the worst songs on the album.
All right.
What is going on?
Hivemind in Shambles.
This is going to be a fun album to discuss. Yeah.
It's going to be so weird.
At least we're not in shambles about that.
Yeah. This is just a teaser of what we're going to be talking about next month.
Oh, next month's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
As if we don't already have enough to
basically
talk about.
what I think this boils down to is that between these two sinkles, what the fuck?
Sinkholes.
Between these two singles, there should be something for everyone to enjoy from these. If you like the heavier shit, Parasite's up your alley. If you like the melodic, kind of radio rock, post-hardcore, metalcore influence type stuff, What If I Fall is going to be up your alley. Archetypes Collide are an up-and-coming metalcore band that should be on your radar if you're already not onto them.
They're already almost at 200,000 monthly listeners because of the album drop, and it's been super deserved.
Absolutely.
What if I fall into the sinkhole?
Would you remember me? Or would I remember you?
Damn it. I didn't want him to... God.
Got him.
Currents have released their newest single, Remember Me. Actually, it's not their newest anymore, but
I think Jacob was actively getting stabbed at the transition. The amount of times he stopped his thought, it was like, oh God.
I'm having a stroke.
Also, with that is all, other than a certain segment later on, that is all for the January singles this month.
Other than a certain segment.
Hey guys, this is a top 5 song of the year, and I think that's gonna get some odd looks from Jacob.
I've got an odd. You can't see my face, but I'm making an odd face.
This is boring. Look,
it's okay.
All right. No, go for it.
That's literally all I have to say. Like, I think that The Death We Seek is the best single so far.
Yes.
Vengeance is just like similar to like Poverty of Self.
Vengeance is just noise.
Vengeance is just noise, yeah. Like, and Remember Me, I guess, is the most emotional of the songs, but it doesn't really impact me in that way. Like, I remember 2020, I guess it was, that album, the Currents album, was filled with like songs, I think even softer than this, but same amount of emotion, and it was definitely something I really, what's the word, liked at the
Resonated?
time. Yeah, it resonated, that's the word. Honestly, I feel myself, this is kind of weird because there's like some exceptions to it, but I feel myself getting like liking metalcore less and less. Like,
you no, that is so real. You are so real for that because I'm the exact same way.
I'm also kind of the exact same way. If you look at my going down the rabbit hole of dark pop as of late.
it's so weird though because like I absolutely love that Memphis Mayfire album from last year. And that's just like the most generic shit.
There are exceptions to metalcore, but there are, in some cases, very generic metalcore that is like, I can't make that argument with Memphis Mayfire being like in the conversation. I just can't. Fuck it. Let's move on. I like this song. This is my second favorite single behind The Death We Seek, in large part due to the very Queen vocal focus of this song. The chorus is fantastic. I wish Currents would make more songs like this instead of songs like Vengeance that are just noise. And yeah, I'm excited to hopefully go like 50-50 on the Currents album, same way I did with The Way It Ends, and that's kind of what I expect because I know the
That's
fans. I know Currents fans enjoy the heavy shit. I don't enjoy the heavy shit. This band is on the edge of how heavy I'm willing to go, and I'm here for the softer side of Currents.
I had the opportunity to buy a ticket for the upcoming tour, and now it's sold out. And I kind of regret it, but I also don't as well. It's kind of a weird situation.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get that right now, actually. Because Invent Animate is on that tour, and you know their new album. Haha.
The Toronto show is sold out so fast, dude.
Shit.
Small ass venue.
Man,
I can't believe Currents is
really?
doing a headline tour and they're not playing a show in Connecticut.
That feels really fucked up.
Yeah, that does weird.
But I mean, at the same time, Bad Omens kind of did it by playing in
Yeah.
Norfolk and not Richmond, but like.
Bad Omens
they're
are from
they're
like
playing
a
in
bunch of different
Boston.
places though. Like
Yeah.
their members are like they have members from like
Currents
Sweden
are
and
like
shit,
the
too.
biggest Connecticut metalcore band, and they can't even play a show in Hartford. Unlucky. Whatever, it's fine. I don't like
Anyways.
the rest of the lineup, so I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's literally why I was like, like I like Currents, but the rest of the lineup,
I need to see this band live someday just because Connecticut. But I'm
You
waiting
haven't?
for. Yeah, I've never seen Currents.
I thought
they
you
played-
went to the Ice Nine Kills, Bad Omens, Currents,
No.
Fame on Fire tour. No?
No.
Huh. I could have sworn you went to that. Anyway. You know better than me, obviously.
Man, I
What a
can't
good
believe
tour.
we're so at odds on this current, or at odds rather, on this Currents thing, because I think that The Death We Seek is so incredibly boring, it's unreal, and I love Vengeance. So like we're
I
shadows.
don't know. I'm not hot. I'm not like crazy high. Like I'm not even gonna defend the Death We Seek because I don't even love it that much. I just think it's the best of the singles.
There
If
is one
If it
line
helps you,
from
Derek,
this-
I'm
yeah,
also
yeah.
not high on it.
Okay, yeah, see? Thank you, Justin.
You're welcome. Glad to help.
I'll take it. There's one like delivery on a line in this song, and it's one quandary for the council, and it's just the rawest thing I've heard all year. I don't know. The way that the chorus is like layered with his cleans and the uncleans is so good. I mean,
chorus
obviously
is
his current riffs
fantastic.
on here. Yeah, everything here is just, I don't know. I love this to death, and I don't think that this is going to end up or stay in my top 5 songs of the year for the whole year. I don't know if it'll make top 10, but as it stands, this is very solidly in like a number 4, number 5 position, and I'm so beyond happy with this. I'm really excited for this album. Outside of The Death We Seek, which I'm hoping will be a grower on me by the time the album comes, I think they're 3 out of 4
All right.
singles.
You said it like 3 times now. I'm gonna defend this song. Let me
Okay.
pull up the lyric.
The Death We Seek
I'll tell
stands
you-
out to me literally just for when they name drop the song of "We have found the Death We Seek." The delivery
My-
on that literally just
mine
makes that
is-
song.
The line, where is it? I guess it's in the outro. Why would I ever want this? Digging through the depths and the cutting through the cracks. All I wanted was to shape the earth with you, and all you wanted was a knife digging through my back.
Okay, yeah, that delivery.
That's
is awesome.
hard as
Yeah.
hard
Yeah.
as fuck.
Yeah,
that is
true.
good lyric. No,
Anyways,
lyrically,
I feel like we've talked about other songs
Yeah.
more than
Yeah.
Remember Me.
yeah, exactly. I want to go to the next song on our list, which is Stan Atlantic's new single, Killer.
What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm naked for your sanity. I'm a killer, killer, killer. Sinking dirty deep and swallowing through me. I'm a killer, killer.
Kill her.
Killer.
I think the vocals for this, she said, were recorded on an iPhone in a hotel while they were on tour.
That's
Which is
such a
kind of
Stand
impressive.
Atlantic thing to do.
Yeah, right.
That's so on brand
right.
for them.
They did that.
Isn't
This
that
is
what they
also
did
a
with
top 10
Ludens?
song for me. Yeah, I think they did. I think you're right. It was either Ludens or one that came like directly after.
That was Parasite Eve, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was Ludens. Anyways, back to Killer. I don't like
song
this
is so
song.
good. Oh.
I think it's boring.
That's two very
I
different.
am also very indifferent on this song, unfortunately.
This song's boring.
No. I'm
This
getting
is-
fried this episode.
This is this is a lot weaker than most of Fuck Everything and Run, in my opinion.
Yep.
Like, it's fine. It's Stand Atlantic pop punk. I enjoy it. It's in the playlist. It just doesn't stand out, really. And I hold Stand Atlantic in a very high regard at this point.
Yeah, and it did take a while for it to grow on me as well. So I see. It is. It can't. I was like, oh, this is kind of mid the first time I listened to it, and then the more I listened to it, the more it got stuck in my head, and now it's the top 10 song of the year for me. So, and I can't even really tell you why. It's not like a couple of the songs last year that I felt really connected to off of Fuck Everything and Run. It's just there's something about a mid-tier lyric Stand Atlantic song that just hits so hard. This band just makes such
Stand
good
Atlantic
music.
doesn't need to make sense to be fun.
Right. I feel like they
And that's kind of the appeal
can't
to them.
miss. I feel like they can't miss. I think that at this point they are incapable of missing. I don't think they've had a single miss in 5 years. And I will put that on the table. I think that they are probably one of, if not the most consistent bands in the entire scene.
I raise you a concrete castles, but yeah.
Yeah. Another female-fronted band. Female-fronted bands are killing it. These
Yeah,
last couple
female fronted
years-
bands have carried 2023 so far, as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah. Which brings us to the last of the Derek singles, I think. Oh, no. Ha, I get the last one. Is Avatar by Stellaris.
So going through this song without like looking who put it in the playlist, I was like, this is definitely a Jake song. And then I heard the like growls, and I was like, wait a minute, this is a Derek song.
The vocals on this, the unclean, so it's the same person doing cleans and uncleans. And the cleans are somewhere in between Lorna Shore and Korn. I think would probably be the best way to put it, like stylistically or sonically. And then the cleans are just ridiculous.
I almost want to say like a Lacey Strum.
yeah,
Like more exaggerated though.
yeah. No, I think that's a fantastic comparison. I really don't remember where I found this band. I have no idea. Maybe they were recommended. I don't get recommended very much music, so maybe this one was special and I checked it out. But I really enjoyed this. Lyrically, it's just about people who talk shit online and hide behind their online personas. It's like whatever. But sonically, this band, I'd never heard of them before, and I found this, and I was very surprised that a female vocalist is able to hit growls like this, and also that she was doing cleans too. I love vocalists with range like that. That's no secret.
There's a lot of talent here.
Yeah. So my question to you, Jake, is I thought that out of anybody, I might be able to get you at this one, but I thought that the vocals, the uncleans, might be too heavy.
The uncleans are a little much for me. The uncleans are a little much for me. However, the chorus bangs. And instrumentally, this song is sick. If the uncleans are just toned down just a little bit more, I love this. But they're just a little too off-putting for me. But this is definitely a band I'm going to keep on my radar because I think there is a very real potential for them to drop a song that I love in the future.
They are from Prague. Hey guys, where is Prague? Is that Denmark?
Czech Republic.
Czech Republic. All right, cool. So I got my first Czech band in the playlist then. I'm a little late to the party. But...
You're pulling
Took you long enough. Get fucked.
You're pulling a Justin here, huh?
Right, this means Justin definitely loved this song, right, Justin?
Oh, absolutely not. But I'm glad you were thinking of me.
Solid song. Don't love it, but there's a lot of potential for this band.
Yeah,
and
there's a new single
definitely,
I haven't heard, so.
Yeah, definitely. They only have like 20,000 monthly listeners from what I'm seeing.
Oh yeah,
so.
19,000, I think. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Dream State, who have released the final single to their Untethered EP, Chain Reactions. We talked about Comfort and Chaos during our December recap. We talked about Taunt Me during our October recap, if I remember correctly. This is the final single of a very short 3-song EP to bring Dream State back to life in a way after losing old vocalist CJ. And I think this song, while it is my least favorite of the 3, I feel like this song shows a lot of potential for what they can do. This song feels very different from the other 2 singles, and I really appreciate that. It shows that they can do more of an emotional melodic song still, which is what I loved Dream State for in the past with songs like And I Feel It Too or Spitting Lies, and that's what Chain Reactions reminds me of. It doesn't have as much punch or power or memorability to it, but I think of this song in the context of what a future Dream State album would sound like, and this is the type of song that I would love to hear on a bigger release for a sophomore album type of thing. On an individual level, with the way this being like the final single released, it's like I'd already heard the other 2. I don't love it on its own, but to round out the 3-song EP, I think all 3 songs flow great into one another, and I'm glad this song exists, even if it isn't my favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to echo your opinion as far as like the strength of it compared to the other singles. I think that it's kind of okay, but I think that this song is missing the same emotional appeal that a lot of Dream State's previous material had. I don't feel any sort of connection to this, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It has some emotional pull to it, like the "so why don't you just say it to my face" lyric. Like it definitely does pull at it, but I don't feel like it's given enough room to breathe almost. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it doesn't hit the same way that a lot of the other, like if old Dream State delivered that line, they would have done it in a way I feel like that maybe would have hit a bit harder as opposed to this, where it just kind of gets lost with everything else. Having said that, I still like this and all the other new Dream State songs. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I need to step back and accept that my favorite parts of the old Dream State are no longer happening and enjoy this for what it is. But and I mean, that's even as somebody who only really felt connected and liked a couple of Dream State songs. I can't imagine for you who Primrose Path.
It's definitely I definitely have to change my mindset that this is not the same band that made Primrose Path. But if it's between Dream State existing at all and this, I'm glad that I get to hear these songs.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Dead Lakes, who released a new song, Strange Juice, and also announced their debut album, Daydreamer.
this ends can't be true. Have you ever felt your heart race? Felt my best self when I switch lanes. Sometimes to growing, need change.
We have finally hit the first Jacob song.
Let's
This
go.
song is so fucking good.
This song is great.
Oh yeah.
I
The
wouldn't
instrumentals
say...
are great.
What? What
Poor
are you
Justin.
saying?
Justin doesn't like a lot of the Dead Lakes. I mean,
Dude.
we've all heard the album.
No,
Right.
no. The thing with Justin is he doesn't like to be recommended post-hardcore. He has to find it himself.
Why is it so true?
At least you admit it.
Dead
I
Lakes
don't know
isn't
why
foreign
it's
enough for
true,
this
but
taste.
why is it so true?
Dead Lakes is too American for Justin.
Exactly, bro.
Right?
Dead Lakes was from, I don't know,
Saskatchewan,
Greece.
there we go.
Yeah.
This
Alright,
is
so
my...
let's have a conversation about how this is maybe a top 10 song of the year right now.
I don't know about that, but this is one of the better songs of the singles. I think Wrong Way. I think I like Wrong Way like the tiniest bit better.
Wrong Way is catchy as hell, but the chorus on this, the vocal delivery in the chorus of Strange Juice, it's even more of an earworm to me. And like the slight pauses of like, I didn't write down the lyrics. The only lyric I had written down from this song is just the one line in the chorus of "Sometimes to grow we need change," which is just such a powerful line. And it's something that I really resonated with. Not to mention the instrumentals are fantastic. I love the drumming in this song. The drumming is fantastic. And the bridge, the very slow build into the final chorus as well, with like the whoa before the final chorus. It just,
I think
this song
that
is the full
sounds a
package.
lot like the end of Sabotage by 1,000
I would
Below.
argue this does it better, but I know you're gonna disagree.
Well, I think the little chuckle he does gives it like a totally different mood.
Right? Okay, yeah.
But I think instrumentally it sounds like very, very similar.
Yeah.
I like that. I adore this song. Apart from verse 2, where it's just like the weird ass drumming.
I love
don't
that.
know.
I
don't like that at all. It throws me off so much.
I feel like it keeps the tempo of the song going. Whereas I feel like the song would feel almost a little bland without this fast drumming in the second verse. It would feel kind of generic almost, whereas I feel like I get out of that first chorus and then like I'm interested because of the pacing of the drums. It's kind of pop punky.
It really reminds me of I'm gonna fucking I think it's called Running in Circles by Bad Omens. There's a section of that song that just it's just like the exact same thing. It's just drumming, and it makes me hate the entire song. Luckily, this doesn't do that because I think the rest of the song is actually really good. But that second verse,
I love it. I love this whole song, as I've made it clear. This is one of my favorite songs of the year so far. This was my favorite song from February.
I also want to point out the well, we got the album art with this, right? And
Yes.
we got Wrong Way, which has a lot of references to driving, as well as this one.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a car in the what's it called, album art.
Yeah.
I think it's really car.
Cars 4 confirmed. Dead Lakes will be providing the entire soundtrack and then covering Life as a Highway.
Dude, you joke about that, but the fucking Cars games was like my introduction to All American Rejects for some reason.
Wait, that's so real. You're so
I know.
Wait, how come your guys' introduction to All American Rejects wasn't Bionicle?
Oh, it was that commercial.
Because I wasn't
Hold up.
Bionicle fan.
You still could have seen the commercial.
I will
And
say,
shame on you for not being a fan.
Jake said it right. This band sounds very much like a pop punk mixed with post-hardcore band. I think that's kind of why it's like something's not clicking with me on it. It's just like something about the vocal delivery is just not clicking. But I love the instrumentals. It sounds really good.
We all have different reasons. Derek, what's your reasoning? for not liking it or liking it?
The album that this is off of is Flawless, and it made me appreciate this song a lot more because I didn't like this when it dropped as a single. I thought it was kind of eh. And then I heard it in the context of the album and it gave it new life. And now it's really good.
Stay tuned for
Probably
our
top
March
five.
recap next month for more.
All right, this is going to be confusing. That's going to be another fun discussion. All right, well, I think we spent enough time on the song.
Yeah.
Justin!
Hello, we've got Alt coming back with their new song, The Great Depression, off an upcoming album called. It's got a weird fucking name.
That is a weird name for an album. You're right.
Abeyance, I believe is how you say it.
I'm choking on the air again. Just wanna breathe it in. I don't wanna feel this way. The price is to hide the pain.
That is also a weird name.
Alt, this is so much better than Wraith.
Yes, this is my
agree.
favorite of the alt singles that you have shown me so far.
I like this song.
It's really good. Probably makes sense because they're an Australian band. Because Australia definitely has
Oh.
something in the water that makes their vocalists really fucking good.
Yeah, Gators or something.
I enjoy like the dark poppy, almost like alternative sound. It's got a really good kind of nerve feel to me.
I almost want to say it sounds a little industrial in the production.
It's very industrial, yeah. You can hear a lot of that sound in Wraith, but I think it's more prominent and works better in the Great Depression. I also just adore the I think it's like the bridge to the final chorus where he's like, I'm a fucking wreck, keep eating me alive. And then just that like vocal delivery up until that last chorus, just really, really good. It's a solid earworm. I wasn't too high on Wraith when that came out. I'm still not too big of a fan of it. But if this is how the album's gonna sound, this is on par to be like one of the more surprising albums of the year for me.
Yeah, this album definitely has some dark horse potential. I feel like I still need to hear more to be fully convinced, but the Great Depression is a very promising sign. And it's definitely an album I'm intrigued with.
They dropped another single in March that we'll talk about. That I'll be able to kind of explain more of my reasoning for that. But all in all, like Great Depression, really good. I enjoy the industrial atmosphere. The chorus is really good. There isn't just much more to say on it because it's kind of a song that you kind of take what you can get once you get into it. But Derek, did you get into this?
I did. I didn't love it, but I certainly liked it more than Wraith. I think that this is something that came to my mind was I was surprised. I feel like this is the first time that I've ever heard a band or like artist refer to widespread like depression and mental health issues as the Great Depression, and I feel like that's kind of just sitting there, and it should have been done before, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's true, yeah.
Definitely going for a lot of like different themes and like emotions going into this album. So I'm curious to see like where it goes from here.
Agreed.
Jacob.
What happened?
It's
Wake
your
up.
time.
It's my time. Imminence have released their single for the deluxe version of Heaven in Hiding titled Jaded.
This is how it ends. So faded. Tell me how to let heart so deep.
And this is the conclusion of Heaven in Hiding. And I think this is a pretty standard Imminence song. And it meets all my expectations. I really love the tie to the I Am Become a Name lyric in other
Yes,
songs on the
yes.
album. Yeah, the lyricism is very similar to other Imminence tracks.
Even instrumentally. Like,
Yeah.
this feels very much like a deluxe song for this album.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's just like album deluxe songs on an album are just kind of like, they're kind of just there. This feels like this was very intentionally a deluxe song for Heaven and Hiding.
I think it's still a solid song. I don't think it's it doesn't, to me it doesn't feel like a deluxe song actually. It feels like it belongs on the album. I don't think it's worse than any of the songs on the album. I don't think it's better. I think
it definitely fit in with Heaven and Hiding, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just another solid Imminence song. You get violin, you get Eddie Berg's fantastic vocals, you got some metalcore. It's just the Imminence package at this point.
Yep.
This is my favorite Imminence song in a while. I really enjoyed this.
On the contrary, I wasn't sold on this, unfortunately.
It's not heavy. It's too heavy for Justin.
It's too heavy for my small brain.
Justin likes Turn the Light on Imminence. I do too.
I do like
that album is better. Still a good
so
song.
Much better.
All right. Linkin Park are not back, but they've released a song or a song from the Meteora era for the 20-year anniversary of Meteora, and the song is titled Lost.
And I'll never break away, 'cause when I'm alone, I'm lost in these memories.
They're not back, but they're back question mark. Because like this isn't this isn't the first song that they've dropped within the last couple of months from that era.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's a really weird situation because then you start doing like getting into like AI stuff because of like the.
You think this is AI?
marketing.
No, I don't think
it's
so.
the art. It's like the album art and whatnot from like the videos. That's what I'm more talking about. But then you get like that conversation of like how that could affect and like if the project's going to continue on and whatnot, and there's been a lot of that conversation. So I've seen it a little bit, and it's kind of like I wouldn't say muddied my perception, but it's kind of making me like a little hesitant of a lot of the stuff that's dropping. This in general is just not something that I would play more than like 2 or 3 times.
What is this? This is Meteor is my favorite Linkin Park album.
It's certainly a Linkin Park song, that's for sure.
And this sounds like a Meteora. I didn't even say that word. I don't even know what it means.
Yeah.
Meteora song, and it sounds produced. It sounds like it was produced in 2023, but still, I think it's so good. It's so nice to hear Chester's voice again, and I really love the bridge of the song. The lyrics go like, I try to keep this pain inside, but I will never be all right. And then it just keeps repeating. And that part gets me every time. It's so good.
I don't have much to say about this song because Linkin Park feels like sacred in a way of just like critiquing an individual song by Linkin Park almost just feels wrong with the legacy that they've built up and everything that's happened with Chester.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I think you can critique it. In my opinion, I think I'm.
Like, I am struggling to think of more to say other than it's like it's a Linkin Park song. I
think
like if you like Linkin Park, you're going to like this song.
Yes, I think so. This is a spoiler. I think this song is better than the other 2 singles they released. For this era. For the 20th anniversary of Meteora. And it's just solid. It's just because of that bridge. The bridge is my favorite part of the song, and I would literally listen to the whole song just for the bridge because it's so good.
All right, Justin, take us away on this next one.
We got Soft Spoken coming back with their single Love Talk.
She's down on the feeling, she's down on the drugs. Under her waterfall, she's looking for love.
I kind of hate the name of this song. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't know what it fucking means. I don't care.
I kind of Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I kind of hate the name of this song, but I can't deny that this is one of Soft Spoken's best songs.
This is their best single. This is their
Love
best
Talk.
song.
Is that
It's
supposed
so
to be
good.
like TikTok?
I have
Please don't tell
no
me
idea.
it is.
It doesn't matter. It sounds good.
Yeah, we'll get to a song like that at the end, right? Kinda.
Yeah. During your time.
Kinda. I don't know. I'm not that high on it. But anyway, keep going.
Yeah, this is Soft Spoken's like best song, if not like top 2. It's got everything that I want in a soft spoken song. It's got the very harmonic vocals. It's got a really good chorus. It's got harsh background vocals that then go into a breakdown of heavier vocals that lead into a final chorus of mix of cleans and uncleans. Is a perfectly produced soft spoken song, in my opinion. The chorus is really good. She's down on the feelings, she's down on the drugs, under her waterfalls, she's looking for love. In the blink of an eye, she'll leave you high and dry, abomination above her own life. It's kind of, those lyrics really, like, on the surface don't really mean anything, kind of get you thinking. They're not very direct. Just because it seems like, as you're reading, it just seems like words kind of were thrown together. But it leads to like different meanings and themes, and I like songs that kind of make me think and use my brain hole, because I don't get to do that.
Brain hole. There's a hole.
It's a black hole sometimes. But yeah, it's almost like a bouncy atmosphere to it. I have a theme this month where like a lot of the lesser known bands that I got into a while back that I kind of fell out of love with some of their songs have kind of come back and like put out some of their like best songs. This isn't my favorite single on the month. We'll get to that. But this is absolutely like up there and is currently my most played song of the year.
Ooh.
All right. That's respectable, honestly. I agree with you. This is one of Soft Spoken's best songs, if not their best song. Really solid riffs. That's probably the thing that stood out to me the most. Vocal delivery is great as usual. I don't mean to offend you here, Derek, but it almost reminds me of Too Close to Touch.
Oh,
I'll let it slide.
I'll say that's a trouble bridge you don't cross.
Yeah, I know. And also a pretty solid breakdown on this song too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I didn't spend a ton of time with this song just due to the nature of other singles that released around the same time.
Yeah,
as
you
this one.
kind of had your plate full.
Yeah. But this is definitely a really solid song, and yeah, I'm optimistic for future soft spoken releases when I was previously kind of indifferent towards them. So good stuff.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see like what they're gonna sound next, if they're gonna continue this sound or go back to kind of the more like easier to listen to post-hardcore sound of Where the Heart Speaks.
All right, let's move on then. Our Promise have returned with a new lineup, 2 new vocalists specifically, and their new single, Panic Waves.
I gave my best to stay.
I'm gonna go ahead and get my opinion out on this right away because I know it's wrong. But Our Promise, to their name, have so much potential and so much promise. I like them better as a feature than their own stuff.
That's fair.
When we talked about the How Like Wolves single for last month's recap, I was much, their sound fit really well with that. I don't like their own stuff.
Now, here's the funny thing. The How Like Wolves featuring Our Promise song featured their old vocalist, Danny, who's no longer in the band.
Oh,
and
that's
the new harsh vocalist for Our Promise is the same guy that does the harsh vocals in How Like Wolves.
That's probably why, because I don't really like the harsh vocals in How Like Wolves.
That checks out then, yeah. I am going to miss their old vocalist for sure because Our Promise had their debut EP is incredible, and the other singles they dropped after the EP were great. But this new era with Panic Waves is off to a damn good start. The production is as crisp as ever. You get a gnarly breakdown that just chunks super heavy. And I think the vocalists play off of each other great. As I said, the new harsh vocalist for this band is the same guy that does harsh vocals in How Like Wolves. And I like his vocals in How Like Wolves. He fits in great here. The new Queen's vocalist for this band as well sounds fantastic, sounds super clean. I love the delivery on I want to say it's like Stay Away in the chorus. Or I could be getting it wrong, but yeah, I just really like his delivery. I love the layered vocals with the unqueens underneath. Throughout most of the song, to be honest, it's like that. And I feel like they just play off each other very well. Definitely losing a bit of the talent that their old vocalists have by going from one vocalist to two. But I don't feel like we're losing in quality very much.
This breakdown is pretty heavy. I'm surprised Jake likes this.
It's a gnarly ass breakdown. I'm not gonna say it's like one of my favorite breakdowns of the year, but it chunks and it's heavy.
Interesting. I don't understand Jake. All I know is he likes women.
Yeah. How do you think I've been feeling for like the last 3-4 years?
It's okay. We all know that he likes women. That's
Yup. the only.
I wasn't
the only
questioning that.
Yeah, I don't have too much more to say about this song. Promising start for this new era of Our Promise. Excited to hear more.
Hello, goodbye. See ya.
We got Sun Sleep's new single, Hello, Goodbye. Sun Sleeper back.
They are.
They certainly are.
I finally. It took
Right?
long enough.
They've been gone for a
No,
while.
This has been like forever in the making.
It's been like
As long as I see stars.
2020,
Not quite. 2020, yeah. So not quite.
but this is really good.
I hate to say it. I'm a little disappointed. I can't
Really?
lie. Yeah, and it's not even like it's a bad song. It's just like their 2018 EP is one of my favorite EPs of all time.
Mhm.
And then you have the singles that dropped in 2020, especially New Sensations, just phenomenal. And I get this, and I'm like this is like, to me, this is like an 8. I'll give this like an 8. But I expect like 9 or above out of Sun Sleep. So for the first single back, I was hoping for something that maybe caught my attention a little bit more. Now there's a whole album of stuff upcoming that I can enjoy instead.
Do you know when that's dropping?
But I was a little maybe disappointed isn't the right word, but it's kind of how I'm feeling, that I don't have this saved, full disclosure. And maybe it'll grow on me as time goes on, but Devin Barris is one of my favorite vocalists of all time, and I feel like they really could have done maybe a little bit more. I don't know. It's just not as good as a lot of the other Sun Sleep material that I love, and for a debut single, I'm left feeling a little middled about it.
Justin,
Yeah.
I don't know when it's dropping.
Yeah, I was
When
about to
is it
say.
dropping? Tell us.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you knew. That's why you're asking. I thought it was a rhetorical
I
question.
was no,
Ah.
I was asking him like he knew better.
No, I don't think there's a date on it yet.
Okay,
This is
Um,
hopeless.
but yeah, this is like a really good Sun Sleep song in my opinion.
Yeah,
to
this
be
is
fair,
solid. This is solid. for
I
sure.
I haven't gone back to that 2018 EP since like 1 or 2 listens back in 2021. So I need to remedy that.
Yeah, you're missing, but it's really good stuff.
I don't have
Jacob,
too
you
much to
tried
add.
and
I don't
Jacob,
have too
you
much
tried
to
and
add
failed on
this
the
one.
last transition. You want to fix that?
I did. I tried. But it was honestly, it was so good that most people probably wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah.
I don't think Derek or Jake noticed.
No, I
Maybe they
noticed.
did.
I
Damn
noticed.
it. Derek didn't. He's having a stroke.
No, I didn't notice. It's my bad.
Picturesque have released their newest single, Hopeless.
I think I should go buried under smoke, snowed in. I'm feeling so sick. Maybe this is hopeless.
Actually, it's not their newest anymore, but I keep saying that. It's bad habit.
This is off a upcoming EP,
Yes.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
which sucks. That's an EP, but whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
Can the Hivemind
Come to an agreement. that
come
this song
to an
bangs?
agreement? I'm looking at you, Derek.
Yeah, Derek.
I'm
This
looking at
slaps.
Derek.
This slaps.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yes, we did it.
It only took 22 songs.
Yeah, this song is so good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's probably the best Picturesque song in my opinion.
This is top 3 Picturesque song.
Oh, that's hard to say. Man, I really love
I probably-
You Feel Okay.
I probably go Attention,
album
Do
is
You
so
Feel
good.
Okay, and then Hopeless. I haven't heard their prior album before Do You Feel Okay yet. I've been putting it off for way too fucking long, but I want to listen to it at some point. But
I
New
haven't
Picturesque.
listened to it either. And that's because Derek and Justin said it's a lot different from Do You Feel Okay.
and you're scared.
And yeah, I really like
That's
Do You Feel
fair.
Okay, so
When did I say this?
when I think it's like when we reviewed the album, honestly. Anyways.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Back to Beautiful has a couple of really good songs. I mean, it's got Unannounced, which is my favorite Picturesque song of all time. But outside of a couple of really good songs, I feel like it's not maybe as consistently good as Do You Feel Okay was. But I think that this is also very different from a lot of both of those, maybe closer to Attention than anything else. But I really like this. This is
Yeah.
really, really good.
Moment
just
of
love the-
appreciation for the EDM
Yeah.
drop halfway through the song.
Yeah, right.
So good.
I just really love the flow of the chorus, like
yeah. Yeah.
It's also a really short song.
Super
Mhm.
replayable. Super
Less than
replayable.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Vocals are
the
as-
chorus is really
catchy as well.
wordy too, but I didn't I found myself singing along pretty quickly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of reminiscent of Like a Villain and how wordy that chorus is. Obviously the melody isn't the same, but I mean it's kind of close actually now that I think about it. Kinda? I don't know. Yeah, I love the like fade out drop halfway through the song after the second verse. I feel like Derek, when you first introduced Picturesque to me, you're like Picturesque. Their sound feels very modern, and I feel
Mhm.
like this song
Yeah.
feels like almost ahead of its time. Still, this feels like where post-hardcore is going to be trending towards in the next few years, and like kind of implementing like. I don't know, implementing more of that like EDM kind of vibey structure to it.
I agree. Maybe for better or for worse in some ways, but yeah, I agree. I think that this sound is going to be one that's done by a lot of bands that probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah,
And I think it's
yeah.
going to make some stuff very stale eventually.
It works so well for Picturesque just because of how unique of a voice Kyle has.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, banger song. Stoked for the EP when it comes out. Shall we move on?
Go for it.
Crown the Empire have released the title track off their upcoming album, Dogma Sugma.
When shackles and bloodstains are painted inside our brains. When disciples and leaders condemn us to hide.
You said it.
Not the
It's
Dogma
actually just
Sugma.
Dogma. Jacob thinks it's funny.
That one's for Wesky. I think this is the best single of all of them.
I
the ones
don't
that
love
released
it, but
early
I think I agree just because it's the least heavy.
I think just in general, it's just Crown the Empire has fallen off way too hard for me ever since the last album. I have not liked any of the singles that have come out.
I agree. I don't really like the direction they're going, but I think I'm at the point now where I'm just like
You've reached
accepting it.
acceptance, yeah.
Yeah, I've reached acceptance, and they opened with this song when I saw them on Wednesday, and it slapped.
I know live, it's probably gonna be really
Yeah.
good.
Especially this song feels like. Do we know if this is the opener to the album?
I think it's like
I have no
middle of
idea.
the track list. When last time I checked,
Because the way that this song builds into the first heavy riff, this feels like it should be an album opener to me.
yeah, it's middle of the track list.
Interesting. I don't know how to feel about that.
Let me look see if the title track is already dropped or the top track.
We already have
no.
5, or I guess at this when we're talking about this song, they have 4 singles, but now we have 5.
Oh nope. The opener has dropped already. It's in Another Life.
That's the opener.
Yeah.
Isn't that what's the one with Courtney?
That's with
Is that
the
it?
Courtney.
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I like that. This album's gonna
Uh,
be weird. I feel like
Yeah,
it's
weird,
gonna be
you
like
mean
that.
not good. Then I agree.
Yeah.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah, I think Sudden Sky was a lot better, and I think personally, I think The Fallout is their best album. I do like Sudden Sky. I think the breakdown in this song is a kind of creative. Little.
I feel
little
like the song
different.
in general is creative. It doesn't have a very normal structure to it.
That's true.
And maybe that's why I kind of like it more than I have the other singles that have kind of just been brutally heavy in a way.
Hmm.
It feels original. It feels creative. It's not heavy. Or not as heavy anyway. I still don't love the song, but it's fine. I had to get one in
Wait.
the episode.
This is the opener.
Is it?
Yep.
I was looking at Google, and
Okay,
Google
well,
had
that
like
makes
a
sense.
weird. So
It's Dogma, Black Sheep, then we don't have the closer yet, which I'm happy about. It's
Okay.
10 tracks and we have 5 already. That's kind of sad. That kind of sucks.
Yeah. What do you do though? That's how it is nowadays.
Yeah, I guess so. Unless you're Archetypes
you'd be like
Collide.
Archetypes Collide.
Yeah, right.
Have confidence in your album.
All right, let's move on then. I think we've said enough about Crown the Empire and
Mhm.
Dogma. Discrepancies have dropped a new single called Recovery.
I think he nearly paid the price. Guess it's more than a pencil in a bag, but it saves a life. Don't throw away your chance to change. It's only time.
I want to get your guys' opinion on this song first before I say anything.
It's okay. Is the
I
camp
agree.
that I will be sitting in.
Justin?
Sorry, I was waiting on Jacob to actually say something. Not my favorite.
Man, okay, I love this song. This is like, God, there's so many good singles in February. Like, I almost want to say this is a top 3 song in February for me, but there's so much.
You'd be lying to
competition.
yourself.
Yeah, I do be lying to myself sometimes. This song is really just carried by the lyrics for me. Lyrically, this is some of the most powerful verses, and just the way the message of the song is really gut-wrenching in a way. Just the lyrics in the verses, you open up with the chorus is like a kind of just like the hook of the song before you get into the first riff. But then the first verse says, "I bet they say what a wonderful guy, who would have knew that he wanted to die." Like, damn. And then the second verse just twists it to, "I think her beauty was one of a kind, who would have knew that she wanted to die." And it's it's kind of a message about like recovering from suicidal thoughts and getting out of that whole depression and negative thinking and all that. The chorus of, "Don't throw away your chance to change. It's only temporary pain. Those better days aren't far away, step by step to recovery." Super powerful song. And just, I don't want to read lyrics of the entire song, but there is a very clear story being told, and lyrically, I think it all comes together fantastically if you really just pay attention to the lyrics here. There's a lot of power and meaning in the songs here. And that's something I feel like Discrepancies has always stood out with in their lyrics. And songs like Undertow or Forever off of their last album. The rap rock style that this band has done, I feel like is like they're at the top of the genre as far as I'm concerned. They're doing rap rock exactly how I would want it to be done.
I don't have an opinion. Song, I'm indifferent.
Fair enough. So with that being said, I was very impressed with that song from Discrepancies. Are you guys impressed with this new song from Honey Revenge? It's called Are You Impressed?
Are you impressed? Forever trying to please you, but I can't follow in the lead.
That's the joke. That's the transition.
I got it. I
Had to make sure, you know, I thought that one was a little,
I'm with you.
kind of a deep
I'm with
transition,
you.
you know?
You made it. This is the best Honey Revenge song.
Ooh, okay, that's a take. That's a
Mm.
take. I don't know if I'm too far off. This is very close to Distracted. This song is so fun.
What about Rerun?
Rerun's also a banger. This band in general is just dropping bangers. They have barely missed. I think Miss Me is the only
That's
song they have missed
hard.
with.
This is good, but I think Rerun's better.
They're at 213,000 monthly. When did
I
that
did
happen?
not.
That's
TikTok.
crazy. Oh yeah,
We
TikTok
reviewed
does
them. They
these days.
had like 100.
I think Rerun's been taking off.
Yeah, TikTok. Plus,
Good.
I think Julian gave them some love, and
Oh, yeah.
I think they're touring with Julian. So
They were here in Toronto the same day Crown the Empire was here, and I don't think I would have gone, but I can make the excuse that I couldn't go because I was at Crown the Empire and 1,000 Below.
With all that being said, Honey Revenge are at like they're like 5 or 6 songs into their band's career, and they are already at like the peak of pop rock in the genre.
True.
It's crazy.
Agreed.
It's like get this band on a tour with like Against the Current and Concrete Castles and Rivals
Ooh.
and who else is at the top of the pop rock genre right now? I don't fucking know. But
We need,
like
a festival.
yeah, true.
I hate to be like, oh, like female fronted rock band, but like a festival with all these bands with Paramore as like the main draw headliner would be so incredibly unreal.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would you call Female Fest? Like I don't know what you would call it, but
Womenfest.
Women Fest. Oh god, it's getting worse.
Yo, that's like Jake's wet dream.
No.
They're
We're
all
not going there.
no.
Man. Dude, why does Female Fest sound like an incel convention? I don't know, something about it.
Yeah, none of the artists show
There's
up,
no
just a
good
bunch of
way to name
babes.
the festival where the gimmick is
No.
female-fronted bands in rock and metal. There is no good way to name that festival.
No, this is just
Yeah.
incredible stuff from a band that continues to be incredible.
Yeah. They just came into the pop rock scene and decided, yeah, we're just going to be some of the best. They just simply decided we're going to be some of the best, and they fucking did it. Like, the string of singles from Distracted to Ride to Rerun to this is incredible. We are down to our last few songs of the playlist. Justin, take us away on these next two.
We got
Last few
Blind
single.
Channel. What?
Sorry, I was correcting Jake.
Thanks. We got Blind Channel dropping their new single Flatline.
Flatline, flatline, flatline. Ow! Like you're bouncing for the last time. Exit emotions, see you on the other side. Ow! Don't need a parachute.
This is a Blind Channel song.
This is a Blind Channel song. This is a very Blind Channel song. I believe Blind Channel toured briefly with Electric Callboy. And I
Yeah.
feel like you can really see the influence rubbing off on this song.
I see that. I see that.
I feel like you can really see the influence rubbing off on this song. I mean, Blind Channel already were kind of incorporating some EDM elements into their songs before. But this really feels like a bit of a new level with the kind of breakdown drop thing they do in this. And it bangs, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. This is a really fun song and I really enjoy it. But the influence is clearly there. Blind Channel at this point are a band that I struggle to put a ton of faith into because they will forever drop amazing singles and disappointing albums, is what it feels like. So, for as much as I'm going to enjoy this single, I'm still, like, cautiously optimistic for whatever they're going to do next. Because that's literally just been my experience following this band since 2019, so.
Yeah, their last two albums just haven't really done much.
This song, though.
It's pretty good. I think it's on, like, the higher tier of like what dropped in the last album.
Oh yeah, this is definitely like if this was on what was the last album called? Lifestyles of the Sick and Dangerous, I think it was.
Yeah.
I'd probably say like top 5, top 4 maybe.
I can make an argument for it.
I didn't love this song at first because I feel like the vocal delivery was kind of strange, especially in the first verse. But the more I listened to it, the more it kind of grew on me, and it's got a very catchy chorus as well. So
It does.
I'm a fan.
I do wonder if there is going to be like an album or something attached to this. Probably not. I don't know how long it was until they started dropping actual singles for the last album.
Dark Side came out in January 2021, and I believe that was the lead single for the album.
That was a little bit separated though, because that only came out.
Yeah, that came out a while before everything else.
Yeah, that came out because
Eurovision.
of the Eurovision. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Damn, I remember when they were at 2 million monthly listeners because of that. But there's still 600,000. That's crazy. All right, we good to move on to the next one?
Yep.
All right, we got A Foreign Affair coming back, featuring Aaron Gillespie, their song Day by Day. Now, I got a very important question. Derek, please tell me you
Yes.
got to this.
I did.
Thoughts?
It's okay.
Oh,
I had a feeling
I'm
that was
sorry.
coming.
I
sorry.
agree, Derek. I agree.
Oh.
Yo, Hivemind in agreement.
I think this song is a little more than okay, but it's not amazing.
This is my song of the year right now.
Oh no.
No,
I'm so
Oh.
sorry.
For us, yeah. Look, hey, man, I will give it another try, but this was not. I didn't not like it. I just don't love it. So
That's
but
kind of
with
where
that
I'm
said,
at. Yeah.
Tell us why it's your song of the year.
Yeah, so A Foreign Affair, I have a love-hate relationship with some of their older stuff. My favorite song by them is I'm Your Ghost from their 2017 EP, Empty Houses. In the last few releases they've dropped, they dropped an EP back in 2020 that I wasn't high on. Getaway was a very like vibey, almost like a retro disco like skating song that I also wasn't too big of a fan of. Worst Enemy was I think the first single that they dropped when they were under SBG, which is the record label like Johnny Craig and all that. And it really shows. I think there was definitely a instrumental change between Getaway and Worst Enemy that's kind of prevalent, where it's very like guitar heavily focused. Alex's vocals, he's the vocalist, really shines in that, but I think the chorus kind of fell off a little short and wasn't really my highest. But this blends his sound so fucking well. everything from the lyrics to the slow fade into the guitars, his inflection on Day by Day, the lyrics, even in starting in the first verse, inhale the poison, the children are chosen to carry the burden of their father's sins, for they don't pay mind to what doesn't pay them. Leading into the bridge with just like asking these several questions that kind of just get you thinking, and it's like just that general inflection that I really love in these like kind of songs, that really keeps a really good energy. And then the chorus is very simple. Day by day, we're losing ourselves and time keeps slipping away. We bury ourselves and the time keeps ticking. Abandoned attention and all the distraction, no satisfaction, our eyes towards the ground. Leading into like the final verse and whatnot. Really, really fucking good. This is my favorite of Foreign Affair song now. My second most played song of the year, but is my song of the year right now, just based on the energy of the song, the general lyricism. Aaron's vocals are hit and miss for me. I didn't like them when they featured in True North's song, Out Loud, like a year or two ago. But in here, I think it really works well. His lyrics for there's magic when we let go, magic when we embrace, magic when we light the fire of madness and we walk away. And then the final chorus, just kind of blending everything together, really works so well. It's very, very good. There isn't much more I can really say that I don't think can really sell you if this is just something that's not something you're gonna get into. But I do think it's got a lot of potential to lead into something that can definitely be like a really, really good project. With
This band is definitely more on my radar after this song than they were before.
I think the album art.
I'm definitely interested to see. I don't know if they've got an album or an EP cooking, but I'm definitely interested to hear whatever they have.
Yeah, I was actually about to get into that. I think Worst Enemy and Day by Day, they kind of share album art a little bit, so I think there might be something cooking now that they're on SPG. So, if there is an album this year, it's I need more like this. Oh, before we move on, my favorite part of this song was the end where it leads in like the final questions of the song. Can we break out and break the cycle? Can we get out of For Our Tomorrow? And then leads to the slow fade at the end of the song. I think that was just a really good part that I forgot to mention. And I think this is just like a really phenomenal song.
Yeah, I don't have really anything else to add. It's a solid song. I don't love it. I don't hate it.
Sad. Dims the brakes.
I will give it another shot just for you, Justin.
I appreciate you.
That brings us to our last single, kind of, but not really. Point North have dropped their newest single, Safe and Sound, featuring The Ghost Inside.
I've been getting bad news all night, swimming in a safe place. That's what I try. You'll never get a chance to rewind. You say that you can, but don't. I need an.
This slaps so hard. I don't know what world Point North decided to collaborate with The Ghost Inside in, or why those worlds would ever collide, but I'm really glad they did because this is phenomenal.
This is really good,
Something about, I always wondered, like, Point North, like those very kind of smooth R&B-ish post-hardcore vocals, what would this sound like with Uncleans? And the answer is really, really good. I'm not a huge The Ghost Inside fan because I don't like his Uncleans in like really large doses, but between the feature on the Fit for a King album last year and the feature on this, damn. It's just so
I'm the same because
so
I've listened to a couple of their songs, The Ghost Inside, and I didn't love them. The unclean vocals are a little much for me, but as a feature, it works great here.
Yeah, I'm perpetually confused by Point North. Because I feel like they put out a phenomenal post-hardcore album and Brand New Vision that made, I think, my top 20 that year. And then they started making pop punk. I didn't like it at all. And now they're making post-hardcore with metalcore features. And I'm like, oh shit, like what's going on? Like this band's discography is such a roller coaster. And
Yeah,
hopefully
it really
they can work
is.
stuff like this.
I think Crown the Empire. We talked about Crown the Empire earlier. I think Crown the Empire is similar.
Yeah, I'd agree. They've been kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
See,
Except
like,
this is
they're-
good.
now that you mentioned that, it's like that's my kind of same opinion because Brand New Vision was like my top 2, top 3 album of 2020, and
Mhm.
like ever since then, it's been very, very hit and miss for what they drop. Recover was like the last kind of memorable song that I kind of enjoyed from them. Everything else was just kind of fell off. But this is pretty good. Even the breakdown I liked. I think it really fit the song.
Justin liked the Ghost Inside feature? That's very unlike you, Justin.
It's like Pablo Tame had a lot of singles that were much more heavy than I thought. And I
Fair,
thought
actually. Fair, actually, yeah. Is
What's
that it,
mean?
then?
Time.
It
Alright,
is.
so technically,
I think
we're
it's
done
time
with
for
the
the Jacob special.
This
Yeah,
is time
technically,
for the Jacob special.
we're done with the singles. However, a certain band went for a very unconventional release strategy.
Correct.
Just like fuck it, we're gonna release what we can.
And we have 4 singles from January and 1 from February. Sleep Token have 5 tracks. I'm not going to name them all because we'll probably go through them. But for their upcoming album, Take Me Back to Eden.
When you sit there, acting like you know me, acting like you only brought me here to get below me.
Releasing May 19th, I think.
Let's start with the best of the singles,
I think
Yep.
we should start with the first one.
which is also the best one.
No, Jake didn't stutter. He's right.
Chokehold
Jake
is
didn't
art.
stutter, but he's wrong.
Chokehold is art.
It is. And
True.
I think it's a testament that it can be art and still not be the best single.
Yes, agreed. I think Chokehold is the safest song here. It's the most conventional Sleep Token song.
Yeah. I love the way it builds up. I love the vocals. I love when the guitars kick in. They're super crisp and punchy.
Actually,
And-
that part is actually kind of unconventional for Sleep Token. Usually it takes even longer to get to that point.
But that's why it works for me, because it is more generic, and Sleep Token's very abstract nature sometimes turns me off from a lot of their songs. With just how long it takes to build sometimes. Like, I get bored, and it's like, I'm a minute into a song, I'm already bored, and you're telling me I have to wait another 45 seconds or another minute to get to the part where it gets good? Nah, I'm not into that.
I feel like all these singles they've broken their cycle, or not cycle, but their what they normally do. They usually, like, almost every Sleep Token song is a slow build, except I can name like Gods is like the only one I can think of that isn't.
I think it's funny
And
how I kind of say that, because it still takes Chokehold like 2 minutes to build. But it's engaging enough to where I don't care.
Well, it's the same thing as like what was it? Alkaline. Alkaline
Yeah.
really took a while to build, so I think it's just
Yeah.
kind of on par.
Chokehold and Alkaline are both lead singles and both the best singles of their respective albums. So if Chokehold is going to be the best song on Take Me Back to Eden, I'm just
That doesn't
assuming.
even hurt.
No,
I'm
he's
just
right.
assuming.
No, let him cook. Come on. He's right.
I'm just assuming that Chokehold is probably going to be my favorite song on Take Me Back to Eden. And I feel like it's a pretty safe bet for me to make at this point.
Well, yeah, I want to echo what you had mentioned, like the long build up for Sleep Token. That's why I didn't like the summoning. I thought that just took so long, and it's 6 minutes of nothing for like 2.5 of it.
Derek,
The Summoning
I
is
don't think
also.
I feel like
very
you didn't
heavy.
listen to the same song I did. The Summoning is not like that at all.
Yeah, no, I'm a little
I don't like the
perplexed.
Summoning
I
because
gotta
I
lie.
don't like his harsh vocals in the song.
So we'll get to the last track. I actually think Vessel is not good at screaming. But in the Summoning, it's so like sporadic and spread out that it works so well. And I think the Summoning is the best of these songs. I feel like Derek has a different opinion on that, but
Yeah, Summoning is definitely top 3. So I think that it's definitely the most unique out of all of them.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
I
Yes.
agree.
Yes.
That,
Yes.
Yeah. I agree that Vessel isn't very good at screaming, but I think he's definitely gotten better. And I think it works here anyways. There is another single where it doesn't work. Again, we'll get there. But yeah, I'm very much of the opinion that I think if I had to pick, like, not my favorite song of the year, but if I were to rank my top songs of the year solely off of like objective creativity and talent, there is not going to be another song this year that tops the Summoning. There won't be, in terms of impact, creativity, execution.
Yeah.
There is not another band in the scene that could make this work, let alone as well as they did. And I think it's really a
That is
testament to
true.
where Token are at in terms of their raw talent, and it's incredible to see just how quickly they've progressed. Some people don't like the funkiness at the end of this.
They're
It's
insane.
phenomenal.
That's the best part.
The funk is great. I wish the funk was like more incorporated throughout the song as a whole.
I don't like it. I think it's just weird. I think it just kind of throws off the pace of the song.
Well, it's the
I think it should have been
refrain
its
from
own
It's the
thing.
same lyrics as the beginning of the song, which I love as well, and just like in a different style.
I still believe it should have probably been its own thing rather than tacked off at the end.
Oh,
of
I
the song.
disagree. There's a reason that this song made them go viral.
Yeah, I think I understand where you're coming from, Justin. I think that if it is a different thing, that this song's quality goes down, and that the thing tacked on at the end wouldn't work as a standalone. I think it only works because of the way this is structured. I mean, obviously, like this is a very divisive track. It's popular, but it's divisive, and we're seeing that now because
Yeah.
everybody seems to have like a different take on it. It's kind of crazy. But that discourse, I think, is part of what got him so popular, that everybody has a different.
And I'm
opinion
glad
on
that
it.
they did blow up off of this song. Like as much as I'm
Yeah.
kind of on this song, I'm glad that Sweep Token are in the spotlight because they are a very unique band that deserves it.
6 million plays on this.
I agree with you, Jake, but this has brought on a lot of weird fans. I feel like the same thing has happened to Bad Omens.
Fair.
That's my only problem with like bands blowing up like that. It's like some of the fans are like really weird. Anyways, shall we talk about Granite?
The best single,
The best lyrically, I'd say.
best lyrically for sure. That delivery on "Never Mind the Death Threats" is probably my favorite vocal delivery so far this year, and everything about this song, even the kind of out of nowhere breakdown into melodic section. That's another one that I've heard a lot of people haven't really liked or don't really.
I didn't at first. I think I've come to accept it as the song talks a lot about like driving as like a metaphor, and I think that almost symbolizes like a car crash, like a breaking point in the lyricism, like for Vessel, I guess, in his mental. like I said before, all these songs are very abnormal structure for Sleep Token, but they still feel like Sleep Token. That's the great thing.
Granite is fine. I want to like this song more than I do. It's fine.
It's okay.
Really, the amount that I can contribute to the Sleep Token discussion kind of ended at Chokehold. Because it's the only song I listened to more than like a couple of times.
Derek, I want to know
Yes.
what you think about the lyric, I see you go half blind when you're looking at me. What does that mean? Because I've heard so many guesses, and I think the best one that I heard, or my favorite anyway, is that the person he's talking to is crying.
Ooh. I hadn't thought about that. I like that. I like that more than what I thought about it.
I would still want to hear what you thought.
I thought that it was more of like this person is the whole thing is that they're like kind of in denial that, I don't need you, whatever, but Vessel's insisting like, no, like I am what you need type of thing. And that half blind refers to they're trying not to see that person. And so if you had to pick like one eye to go blind, for instance, that on one hand they're looking at them, they see somebody who they're with and want to be with, but on the other hand they're trying to ignore them with that other blind eye to try and convince themselves that they're not what they need, kind of like an internal battle with themselves type of thing. And Vessel's trying to insist like, hey, like, I am what you need type of thing, and convince them to stop looking at her with that blind eye. So
How about sorry, you have more?
Yeah.
How about between the secondhand smoke and the glass on the street? What do you think about that? Because that one I have no idea.
I don't really either. I guess secondhand smoke I kind of thought of as like, like if somebody's smoking around like a kid or whatever, somebody that they can develop lung damage from that smoke.
Right, almost like a bad influence.
Yeah, that the other person's own internal battles are acting as a sort of secondhand smoke and affecting Vessel. And I just thought the glass in the street was the basic metaphor for like a breaking point. I didn't really look too far into it, broken glass type of thing, but there's so much to unpack in this song,
I know,
which is part of why I love it so much.
And then should we go to the next song, or do you want to keep talking about?
No. Let's go to the second best single.
That is true. The second best single.
I agree with.
Somehow we all made it.
Aquaregia.
Wait, Justin, is this your second favorite single as well? Did we lose him?
Justin.
Paywall.
Sorry, I was muted. God damn it.
Paywall.
Actually, Granite was my second favorite, but this is third.
Okay, I'll take it. Close enough. Acceptable answer. Good job.
I didn't have a ton of time with this.
Yeah. I didn't like this at all when it came out.
I loved it. You know what I think is interesting is similar lyricism to almost like Alkaline, where he's like a chemist. Maybe Vessel is Walter White. That's what the glass on the street is. It's
shit, it's all coming together. Next he's gonna dissolve a fan out of acid. one person gets sacrificed.
Oh god, don't incite murder.
Ice Nine Kills had performance art. Wait till somebody gets dissolved on stage.
I'm surprised if Ice Nine Kills don't do it first.
No, somebody's gonna get eaten on stage.
Oh god! Oh, you're right. No.
This is the second best song. It is just so catchy, and there's a fucking piano solo. It sounds like he's in like a jazz bar as well.
I was about to say, this makes me feel like I'm in a steampunk jazz bar, like high class type of low lighting. It's so. Ugh. I love when songs do that.
This came out like right after that Waterproof by Garden, and I thought the piano very similar and kind of remind me of each other, but I really love this. I love the piano. I think the piano solo is the best part, and the lyrics after. I don't know if I guess it's the bridge. And then we have probably the worst song.
And the only miss.
I think the clean parts are good. I just really I don't think Vessel's the greatest screamer in my opinion. I think Gods is one of my least favorite songs until you get to like the clean section of it. I've always said that when I think Gods is one of their worst songs.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of is like metalcore from 2007. Like that kind of harsh, screamy, a little underproduced. I don't know, something about it. I don't love it. I don't love it at all. And it when you have 4 extraordinary singles and then something that feels like a miss, it kind of
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still like the song. It is definitely weirdly titled. But I get it.
I'm hoping maybe whatever comes after this will help contextualize that title a little bit more. Because, like, I mean, granted, I haven't paid too much close attention.
I feel like I've got the
lyrics.
gist of it from the 5 singles. It's just that he's horny.
Yeah. Thus, more weird fans come. In all senses of the word. I also really do think it speaks volumes about this track that it's, I mean, granted, it's still at 4.1 million plays, but that's almost half of Aqua Regia. And it just hasn't kept the same. I mean, Summoning's at 26 million, Granite and Chokehold are both at 10 million, Aqua Regia's at 8 million. Yeah, it's. I'm also.
I feel like they fumbled the bag by not dropping the album in January.
I really, so I wanted to mention
I think
that.
they fumbled
what
the bag
fuck
by
is
not
going on?
Well, I remember Spine Farm, the record label, saying that this is going to be the weirdest album release cycle you've ever seen. And it definitely is, because I'm pretty sure the next single is like, so far they've released in chronological, like Chokehold is number 1 on the album and 4 is number 5. The next song that released is not number 6. I don't remember which one it is, but it is, I want to say 7 or 8. Actually, it might be 9.
But wasn't the gimmick that they were supposed to be releasing 1 song a day until the album dropped or something?
That was my theory when the Summoning came out, but that was quickly diminished when
my hype for this album immediately declined as soon as I wasn't getting a song a day. Like as soon as I heard that, like, oh, this album's not coming out for 4 months, I'm like, I'm sleeping. I am sleeping.
I understand. I kind of understand it. First, they were touring with, I think, Archetypes in Europe, and they were playing Chokehold on that, so I understand that. And then they had their headline tour in the UK, and they played the first 4 songs on the album on that tour. So I kind of understand them releasing all those together, and still being weird. 4, I guess, was to be released or to announce the album is why they released it.
It's just been a weird album cycle for Sweep Token.
Yeah. Spine Farm said it would be, and I think they've done a great job of doing that. I'm so excited for this album.
Chokehold is promising. I mean, Chokehold is good.
They're all promising. 4 is okay.
Something that I do really like, at least about this, is that since they're all in order, that you kind of get, even if the album is later than we kind of wanted it to be, you do get a glimpse into the album to see exactly what it's going to sound like by being able to play all these back to back to back. Yeah. Sleep Token continue to be one of the most interesting and talented bands in the whole scene, and I'm glad that they're finally getting the exposure that they deserve. Because I think before this place, Will Be Your Tomb, they had, I think, 90 or 100,000, and then with Alkaline and that album cycle, they're up to like 400,000, and now they're at 1.8 million, and that's gone down from the over 2 million it was at before when the hype was at its peak.
I think they were at like 2,700 or 27,000. Sorry. No. 27,000. No, I can't remember now.
I don't know. They have
270,000.
Okay, I was
That's
like,
what I
being-
wanted to say.
Point being, they have
Before
grown astronomically since these singles
Yes.
have dropped.
How
Oh,
about
yeah.
that? Just say that.
Some of the most rapid expansion I think we've seen maybe of any. I remember when Sundowning dropped, nobody knew about this band. Nobody.
Bro, they toured with they've only been to Toronto once, and there was issues in like
Yeah, in
2017.
Philadelphia. Yeah, I remember that
Oh.
tour. I'm still so pissed. I never got to see Issues. I was supposed to go to 3 different tours, and they all fell through. And now they don't exist.
Tragic. Any
Our
last
Sick Up
comments?
discussion probably going to be
on
longer
these
than a
two?
lot of these albums.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think
honestly.
so.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my most anticipated album of the year, as nobody's surprised about that, I feel like.
Absolutely not.
Things that should surprise no one. Me liking women in rock and metal. Justin enjoying post-hardcore. Derek having a stroke. And Jacob
Yep.
being excited for Sleep Token. None of these things
Why-
should
Jake,
surprise anyone.
why you gotta keep emphasizing that you like women? Is that like a surprise to people?
I just stated
I
4 of the
lose
most
my mind
obvious
every fucking
things.
himself. He's reassuring himself.
I was simply trying to make a point for all of us about something that should be very obvious about each of our
Yeah,
personalities when it
yeah,
comes to music.
I'm glad you're reassuring that.
Yeah, Derek having a stroke is something about music for sure.
It's true. It's true. I get too excited.
Look,
folks. It
look, if
happens.
Bill Murray can make anything harmonic,
Real. So real.
we can work with it.
Oh,
All right, let's get talking about the albums for this episode. We
yes.
got 1 January album and 4 February albums. Let's start with Suasion and their album, The Infinite.
Man, there's so many things I could say, but no one of us to be prepared. They look at me and see a jester, or I just wanna be alone. I'm too close.
This is the follow-up to their 2019 album, what the fuck was it called? Stardust. And it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the singles wanted me to have so much more hope for this album. It was the same way with Stardust, though. Stardust led off with Colorless as a fantastic single. This album cycle led off with Murphy's Law being unbelievable. And then it followed it up with Infinite, which was also incredible. And then we got a bunch of solid songs last year, like House of Cards, Momentum, and Trapped. But then the album just comes together and I'm left underwhelmed. A lot of the songs that were left for the album, songs like Celestial and Explore, don't really do much for me. Astro is just like, it's kind of a fine instrumental opener, but then you also close with a 4.5 minute long closing instrumental, which really left me underwhelmed. It didn't feel grand enough to deserve being an instrumental closer.
I wanted to mention that. I wasn't sure if we were going to get to that immediately,
Yeah.
but I was really disappointed when I heard that.
Yeah, I was expecting, it's like I see the 4.5 minute time of the track and I'm like, okay, this could be something good, and then it just keeps building, and eventually by the 3 minute mark I realized, oh, this is just an instrumental closer, and then I just like, I just really don't care at that point.
See,
You know?
I was listening in the car, so I didn't know if this was the last song or not, and I was saying to myself, "This better not be the closer. This better not be the closer." and then
and then it was.
and then it was, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
There is one instance where an instrumental closer has been fantastic, and it's called The Last Riff by Beartooth. That is the exception to the rule.
I can't comment.
Nope.
I don't remember.
I do want to say that for as down as I am on the album as a whole, this is still one of the stronger albums I've heard this year. This is, in my opinion, the best album we are talking about in this episode. And
Interesting.
it's hard carried by Murphy's Law, just existing as a single. Murphy's Law is absolutely fantastic. The chorus of that song is incredible. The feature of Flow from Landmarks is incredible. Sick Breakdown, just an incredible song. Infinite is also really solid. Trapped is a really fun riff. Momentum feels very grand. Like, there's definitely highlights on this album. House of Cards also has a really sick breakdown. But the full package, it feels like in the past, I've compared Suasion to Starset, taking a lot of influence from like the space aesthetic. A lot of incorporation of orchestral elements. They have a very grand vision for what they are trying to make. And unfortunately, I just don't feel like the polish is there to really sell the vision that they have yet. And that's exactly how I felt about Stardust. And I was hoping that this album would deliver on that promise. And it does, but it doesn't get all the way. It doesn't cross the finish line. I want to like this album a lot more than I do, but the flaws of this album really hold me back, especially because this album took so long to release. Murphy's Law is almost 2 years old as a song at this point.
Wow.
This album has been a long time in the making, and all of the best songs are well over a year old at this point. So when this album drops, all of the new material left really little impact on me, which is why I feel so little about it. But I still also can't deny that there are some really strong songs on here that make this my favorite album in the playlist, which I think says a lot about the albums from these first 2 months of the year and why we chose to combine them into one episode here. Justin, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I was about to say, I do want to mention Black and White, Black or White, because you kind of skipped over that, and I think that's one of the best songs off the album.
Okay.
I think it has a really good energy to it, and I think the breakdown where it starts off with the get the fuck out, and then it leads into like a really good kind of starry instrumental breakdown, I think was really, really good. But all in all, I'm gonna pretty much echo what you had mentioned. There's something about Suasion with their voice inflection that I'm hit or miss on. I think they do their job best when the vocals lead more than the instrumentals do, and that's perfect in Infinite. But you get like very instrumental heavy songs, like I think Celestial, Equilibrium are both kind of instrumental heavy. Hell, not. Well, Closer is very instrumental heavy. It's an instrumental closer. I think that's really what they lean into on. I think if they kind of close that focus and kind of lead more into the vocals, because they've got talent to do it, I think they could, put out a more unique, better project.
Yeah, I don't really have too much to add. I say we move on to our February albums then. We got 4 albums to talk about, and with me saying I'm disappointed by the Suasion album and it being my favorite in the playlist, I think that says a lot about these upcoming albums that we're going to talk about. Let's talk about Delain and their new album, Dark Waters. I don't expect any of you guys to really feel much towards this album. This is very much just symphonic metal, and I know that's not something you guys love. However, this album was the start of a new era for the band with a brand new vocalist in Diana, and it started out with the lead single of The Quest and the Curse, which I really enjoyed as a song. It had some sick riffs. It had unclean vocals from some of the guitarists in the band. Diana's vocals were fantastic. I had a lot of high hopes for this. By the time the full album comes out, 3 other singles had dropped. One of which being Moth to a Flame, my second favorite single on here, which feels similar to The Quest and the Curse, just a little bit less grand. No harsh vocals in Moth to a Flame, but again, similarly very cool riffs and fantastic vocals from Diana. However, the rest of the album falls really flat for me. Hideaway Paradise is a fine opener, but I kind of just feel very fine about every other song on the album, which is a little disappointing. because the singles did leave me to believe there would be more to digest here. The Quest and the Curse being the lead single, while also being the only song on the album to feature unclean vocals, was definitely a little bit off-putting. I was expecting more unclean vocals to make it at least like a backing appearance somewhere on this album, and they never did, which is part of why I loved The Quest and the Curse as my favorite song on this album. I will give credit to The Cold, probably my favorite non-single on the album. Has a very atmospheric orchestral opening to the song that I really enjoy, but then it gets into that more generic symphonic metal sound that doesn't always work for me. There are exceptions that do work for me, but this album doesn't fully do it for me. The last point I really want to make here is Underland, the closer to this album. It's just an underwhelming closer, and I think the biggest reason why is that it feels generic. It feels very much like the rest of the album and just that symphonic metal sound, but then it also has like a 45-second slow fade out that really just left me even more. It left a bad aftertaste on the album when I was already underwhelmed. And I'm glad that I gave this album a chance, because there are definitely some songs like The Quest and the Curse and Moth to a Flame, and even The Cold I'm going to be taking away from this album pretty positively. I was left disappointed. Did any of you guys have any thoughts on this album?
No, sir.
I didn't get to it.
Yeah, I didn't figure. Yeah, I really just wanted to bring that album up because I remembered we talked about The Quest and the Curse and had a decent discussion around that one, and wanted to end off the album cycle by talking about the album in full. That takes us to our next February album, a rather interesting album at that. Shrezzers have dropped their album Sex and Sax.
Es que no puedo, si casi tuviera la luna entre mis manos, mi solo regresa, es para mí como para ti.
Featuring songs like Mastophobia and Pvernhavub.
I think this is a lot different from Relationships, although I haven't revisited that album in a while.
Yeah.
This feels like almost less serious, I would say.
Yes.
And I think that, honestly, with a name like Shrezzers, you should be not serious. So I think this is a step in the right direction.
And they kind of had that with songs like Emoji Queen. And
True.
Relationships
You're right.
on
You're
the
yeah,
previous
yeah. You're
album.
reminding
This-
me of that. Yeah.
This as a whole is much, I think, more consistent as like a concept, and is an overall better album.
Yes. More
'cause, like
cohesive.
there's because there's songs on the Relationships like Interact, which is kind of this Middle Eastern kind of vibey type of thing. It's
Yes.
a great song, but it doesn't really make any sense on the album.
That's one of the ones I have saved. Actually, actually, that's something. This is totally unrelated. Sorry, but
Yeah.
that Time the Valuator song we reviewed for December,
Mhm.
that reminds me
Mm. Mhm.
of that song. Anyways, let's go back.
Interesting.
I do not have a single problem with this album. Nothing. Well, I know you were complaining about Pornhub with the V's.
Me?
I
No,
think-
I didn't care.
What
I didn't care about Pavorn Hub.
do you mean?
Stop
You
trying to
complained
pronounce
about
it.
No. Nope. I'm pulling up the receipts, folks. Where is it
No,
at?
he said it was weird. I think, but he didn't
I
complain
didn't say
about
the
it.
song was weird, but I didn't complain about it.
He said,
I
quote,
think I
gosh,
was.
Pornhub by Shrezzers is obnoxious, early contender for the coveted Solons Award.
Jesus. I didn't
Okay,
do that.
maybe he did say that.
Well, that the receipts.
Man, I was right back then. Huh. Continue.
Now, before you continue, I actually think I agree
Yeah.
with Justin.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Pornhub is not a good song.
It's not supposed to be. I don't think.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's not
Yes,
supposed to be.
it's not supposed
when
to
you
be.
got, like that
It's good
fucking
and-
talented vocalist Diego,
It's-
like he does such a fucking good job at harmonizing. I think his potential is fucking listed on this album. Like I was
Yeah.
not pleased with this album.
I
I
had
feel
so
like
much
these
fun.
guys, I feel like they're taking it too seriously, Derek. I feel like that's their problem.
Maybe
cannot look at
maybe I'm
this as a
taking
good
it too
album.
serious.
In saying you can't look at it as a good album, it's not a bad album. I think it's a fantastic album because it's not a good album. Okay? I don't really know how else to put it.
This is one of the albums of all time.
Yeah, right. I think that if nothing else, this might be the most wasted feature lineup I've ever seen in my life. Maybe underutilized is a better term, but
Yeah.
I think the only features that really shone here on Pornhub and UVB 76, they got the CJ feature down pat. When you get names like Lucas Magyar and Michael Barr that are some of the most talented vocalists in the scene that can do both cleans and uncleans, and you don't fully utilize both, it kind of makes me upset. I'm like, I'm seeing those features, and I'm like,
You know what?
I mean, they
I-
worked, but
I would agree, but then we have like songs like "Lost Between" featuring Marcus Bridge, and
yeah, true. Okay, allow me to rephrase. I think that Lucas and Michael Barr's clean vocals are way better than their uncleans, and I'm sad that we didn't get them. Maybe that's
Okay.
a better way to put it. Yeah. Oh man. With that said, I think that on a song by song basis, this goes toe to toe with Relationships and beats it out. And I really, because Diego's from Brazil, right? And he moved to Russia
Yeah.
for this. Okay. When you get songs, I think my favorite song in here by far is Temperatura. And
Yeah,
it's not close.
I don't agree with that.
It's not close.
The
And I
disrespect
think-
on Phoenix.
Phoenix has been out for years. That's had a
Yeah.
time.
It's still Shrezzers' best song, period.
My point in that is that you
Oh.
have like a song like Tabidachi that has Japanese in it, and then you've got Temperatura and Jealousy that both have Spanish in it, and this album is kind of like a collection of languages and genres, and I think they make it work because Latin is sexy and Japanese has, certain connotations to it at times that you can bring forth. I mean,
what
it
is
does till you
what
get
is the
something wrong.
opening translate to?
I have no idea, but somebody started moaning a minute into it, and I'm like, yeah, this is a Shrezzers album.
This album's just like too all over the place for me to really enjoy it.
So I guess that's my point, is that it being all over the place actually makes it cohesive because it fits into Shrezzers' motif with all the different languages and
Yeah.
the sound bites and everything. It's almost, we just brought up Bill Murray, kind of Bill Murray-esque, that it shouldn't work, but it does. And I think that Relationships didn't feel like an album. It felt like a collection of songs. To me, this feels more like a statement piece for Shrezzers. I think that this is done perfectly.
Why did I think
Oh.
that would be anything different? The fucking opener is called Intro, just in Japanese.
Wait, it's just called
It's just
intro?
it's just intro in Japanese.
I love this band, man. Look,
I want to love this band, but just like I felt there was a lack of emotion going through my body listening to this album. I just felt nothing listening to a majority of these songs. It was either
I love
nothing
riffs.
or disgust on Pornhub and enjoyment on
Disgust.
Phoenix.
That
Man,
sounds so
there's some
funny out of context.
riffs. Yeah, he's a fuck. But you
I
know what
think
there
I'm
is? There aren't
somewhere
enough women in
between-
that song.
I feel like I'm.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think I'm somewhere between Derek and Jake and Justin. I think I'm closer to Derek though.
This
I don't
album- yeah,
like
go ahead.
love this album, but I enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
I
it's
don't
like the
think I'm
equivalent-
capable of enjoying this album for what it is, unfortunately.
To me, this is like the equivalent of like post-ironic memes, where they're just like a single letter on a deep-fried image that like it's funny, but it's so like stupid that it's not funny. But then it's
I've-
like post-irony translates back into being funny.
I
That's what this
feel
album
like
is.
they
That's
should
so
have.
true.
You know what would be good for Shrezzers to do? is collab with like someone like Jared Alonji.
They did collab with Jared Dines.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, on Emoji Queen.
Oh, right.
They haven't done anything with Jared
But
Alonji, but
I think Bill
I
Murray would
need-
also be a good one too.
I need Shrezzers and Eskimo Cowboy or Electric Cowboy.
that would be
could be
another
cool, too.
phenomenal collab.
Yeah,
Bands that don't take themselves too seriously are just fantastic, and I think that the only complaints that I could possibly have with this album are that, like, oh yeah, like it's kind of unserious, but that's their whole shtick. So I just end up enjoying it all, especially with all the guitar work on here is phenomenal, and you know me and sax, like a guitar solo and saxophone, it's gonna stick with me. And Relationships was a top 10 album of 2019 for me. It didn't hold up, unfortunately. I think that this is a step far and above what Relationships was. In saying that, I don't think that this is going to end up anywhere near my top 10.
I
just
I
a big
agree.
paradox of an album that,
This
for
album is
all
an
its
enigma.
flaws, I love it.
I'm kind of in the same boat.
It's an enigma. I love it. I love this fucking album. Shrezzers are fantastic. And is that an orgy on the cover? I just realized.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, see, this band's fucking
On brand.
fantastic.
On brand.
So-
Wait, how did you not notice that?
No, I just thought it was a bunch of people like behind a glass wall, like trying to get out. I didn't realize what was going on.
I'm face popping right now.
And look, this, for better or for worse, this band has an identity, and Relationships didn't stick with it. Every song on here, I feel like, has some sort of motif to it that fits into it, and I think more people should be paying attention to Shrezzers. I think there is something here for everybody, and I like it. I like it a lot. Shout out Shrezzers for putting out the most unserious album of the year so far. This shit slaps. I'm behind it fully.
Let's move on then. We got 2 more albums to talk about. Let's talk about Awake at Last, who have released their sophomore album, The Balance.
This is do or die, and I have never found. So tell me why I feel so lost. Tell me why I feel so.
I really wish I liked this band more. I remember
Yeah,
seeing them
same.
live with Ice Nine Kills, and they were actually really good. But I've gone back and listened to that first album and now this one, and I don't know. It just feels like background noise to me. I really do want to like this album. Hey,
Yeah,
follow me on
same.
Twitter. I feel bad saying this.
Well, see, the problem is that like this is just the change again.
Kinda, yeah. I
in
would
my
argue a bit
opinion.
worse, though, because The Change at least had some standout songs, like More Than Animals, which had a great riff and chorus. The Change itself, the title track, was really solid. I think they had a song called Paralyzed. So many bands have done a Paralyzed song at this point, so I don't
True.
really remember, but Paralyzed was good. This album, it feels like it's lacking that star potential where it's like consistently fine. Like, this album doesn't do anything wrong, but it also really doesn't feel like it has any highlights or standout moments. The standout moments that I can pick out, like the opener Lost, I think has a really fantastic chorus and delivery to it. Landmines was a standout. Dead to Me is my favorite track on here, but that was released as a single years ago at this point. Divine Intervention I also think is a really good track towards the back half of the album. I kind of wish it was the closer, but none of those songs that I just mentioned being my favorites really had any staying power with, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I think my problem going into this album was I knew what my favorite Awake at Last song was, and that was Armageddon. And they did an EP of that back in 2021, and that song was really, really fucking good. And no song on this album came even close to topping that. I presume, Derek, you have the same opinion?
I did not get a chance to listen to this, and so I was.
You're
kinda
not
hoping
missing
for all the
anything.
albums.
No.
I was gonna say for all the albums
I don't think
didn't get
you're
to,
missing too much.
I was somebody could sell me, but it sounds like there's nothing to be sold on.
Nah.
It's a very fine album. Like, as I said, I don't think this album really does anything wrong. it just doesn't do anything amazing either. There's definitely an audience for this.
Yep.
It's radio rock, it's post-hardcore sometimes, it's solid vocal delivery. But, like, how many other bands also do all of that and more that we listen to, right? So, I don't know. I want to be able to defend this band more than I am able to. But unfortunately, this album fell a little flat.
Yeah.
Please don't unfollow me on Twitter.
Let's take us to our last one.
Yeah, let's talk about Self-Deception and their new album, You Are Only As Sick As Your Secrets.
Secrets close, open so you don't dare fall asleep under the concrete trees.
The follow-up to 2020's Shapes, which barely missed my top 10 albums of the year and was just in, like top 5?
It's
think?
top 3. Top
3, okay. So yeah, we were both very high on Shapes. I don't think we have talked about this band since.
Oh,
and they
absolutely
released
not.
a lot of singles for this album.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Shapes.
You did not like
You
that
remember
album.
hating it.
I remember some of the lyrics on that album. I know what's going on.
TikTok Brace for Impact still goes hard. You cannot convince me otherwise. And the rest of that album, in all honesty, still bangs. But the singles leading into this album really did not do much for me.
No.
However, the songs that they did save for this album, kinda bangers. I think two of the three best, well, I think the first 3 songs on this album are the 3 best songs, and Fight Fire with Gasoline was one of the singles. Holy Water and State of Elysium are the next best 2 songs on this album. State of Elysium featuring GG6, aka Henrik of Amaranth, is my feature of the year so far. Probably to no one's surprise with how much I love Amaranth, but that song fucking bangs. Henrik sounds as good as ever on that song. I'm really gonna miss him in Amaranth. Just a sick breakdown. He fits in so well on the song, and just with like the fast pace that Self-Deception brings across this entire album, and on that song specifically, the 2 vocal styles just really contrast each other great. Fight Fire with Gasoline is super high energy, very high tempo. Almost reminds me of Hip to Be Scared by Ice Nine Kills. It has a very playful, like circus-like energy to it almost. Kind of Panic at the Disco-y too. Like I don't know if any of that even makes any sense, but Fight Fire with Gasoline is really fun, really energetic. I love the vocal delivery on the chorus of like "Burn it out, let me down with all my negativity" or whatever. And then the Fight Fire with Gasoline delivery as well is incredible. Holy Water, solid opening track as well. I really don't have anything bad to say about those first 3 songs. And then we get to 11. And then the album is just entirely downhill from there, unfortunately. 11 is a 2-minute budget pop punk song on this album for some reason. I don't get it. It's so out of place. It's not a good song. And it makes me feel nothing. Or worse, anger. And then it just leads into the rest of the album with Stockholm Hearts, which is fine. Haley's Lullaby, which is just your mid-album ballad type song. And then Psycho is there, and Good Thing is there, Intoxicated Haze is there, The Fall is there, Legends is a fine closer. It's just, the opening 3 songs on this album are night and day from the rest of this album, and I'm very upset about it. But at the same time, I'm very happy that it ended up that way, because I had little faith going into this album, knowing how little any of the singles made me feel other than Fight Fire with Gasoline. I was expecting to be way more disappointed in this album than I ended up being. But I ended up getting 2 really solid songs and Fight Fire with Gasoline as an incredible single. So I'm a mixed bag on this album.
Yeah, I think a couple of these songs really just kind of fell off for me compared to the last album. There's some standouts: Fight Fire with Gasoline,
Yes.
Stockholm Hearts, Psycho for me. Everything else,
I hate the PSYCHO delivery in that song. It's just so off-putting to me.
I can see that. Everything else is kind of I didn't give too much attention to. But I've maybe only listened to this album like once or twice.
Jake, I've listened to Fight Fire with Gasoline, and I want to raise you. Shit, what's the name of that song? It's a song by Cypher Sight, though. Icon's Crown.
That's a
I don't know if
good
you remember
callback.
it.
Actually. God, I haven't heard that song in years, but that's a good callback, actually.
Which is X Ice Nine Kills, I guess, but
Yeah.
but it sounds. I like immediately reminded of that song when I listened to it.
I'll take it. Derek, I need you to listen to State of Elysium. Whether that's now or
Noted.
by the end of
Noted
this
and
year,
done.
I need you to listen to that song.
In fact, I have 3 songs that I need to listen to, so I'm going to take that one, and I'm going to take the new Dying Wish song, and I'm going to take Day by Day by A Foreign Affair, and I'm going to throw them all into a playlist together, and we're going to
How
report
about-
back.
All right.
How about the Devil Wears Prada on the Excision song?
Oh, yeah, that shit is phenomenal.
I haven't heard it yet. I
Oh.
forgot.
We'll be talking about that one. We'll be talking about that one later on. But I think that wraps up our combined January and February recap. We did it under 3 hours. Good job, gang.
That is impressive.
I'm
Right?
impressed. I thought we would at least crack 3 hours.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, we're at the 2 hour 40-minute mark roughly right now. Do we want to give some shout outs to songs that we cut for the combined playlist that we would have talked about in an alternate universe where we didn't have to combine them?
Gosh, what the fuck
If
did
there's
I
any-
cut from the
remember
last
them.
one?
I wanted to highlight Love from the Other Side by Fall Out Boy.
We'll be talking about that album in full.
Yes.
Oh, the band from Inside came back with a new vocalist. They dropped a single in January. It didn't stick with me, so I didn't throw it in this, but I thought I would throw that out. Apparently they were gonna drop a single like every month or so I'll probably be talking about them at a future point. But they dropped 2 singles over the course of January and February. Neither of them really stuck too far with me, but the vocalist is good. I think you guys should go check them out, and maybe we'll talk about them later this year.
I have 2 songs that I want to shout out that it pained me to leave them out. The first one being Sixth Wonder and their song Saboteur. Small little band from the UK. They have 3 songs out. Saboteur is absolutely incredible, punching well above the numbers that they currently have as a band. Female fronted, post-hardcore / metalcore band. Fits right on brand with me. The other one I want to mention, alongside Derek, I think you'll be happy about me mentioning this one. Charlotte Sands and her song All Right. And specifically the live performance of that song with the added guitar solo is just an emotional gut punch.
I also got 2 other songs that we'll be reviewing albums of next month, but Thirst for Violence by Nothing Nowhere and Sing to the Grave by Chelsea Grin. Both songs that have been replayed pretty much since they came out for me.
We'll be discussing a lot of these songs that we ended up cutting out for this combined episode of stuff we'll be talking about in our March recap when we discuss the full albums, just because of the nature of how far delayed we were with Derek's internet being MIA and
Fuck you,
a lot of
Comcast.
albums coming out. I also had to leave out the 2 new songs from Ad Infinitum from this episode, which we'll be talking about those in next month's recap as well. I think the last song that I want to shout out would be Grandson, who came back, released a song Eulogy. His first single, I don't know if it's his first single in a while. If we just did February by itself, I would have loved to talk about it, but had to make the cut for this combined episode. I'm sure we'll be talking about that song at a later date anyway, but just want to give a shout out while we got a little bit extra time at the end of this episode. If you're looking for more stuff to check out from these first 2 months, there's a few suggestions. But with that, thank you for listening to our first episode for 2023. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to follow us on social media at Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Help us get to 100 subscribers. Hit the triple digits. Follow us on Spotify and whatever other podcast platform you might be listening to this on. We appreciate all the support as always, and we are excited to be back for the new year, talking about all of our favorite music from this month.
Let's go. We'll probably have merch recap here soon, and then we'll be back on track for an episode a month.
Yep.
Sir, we have lots coming.
Yes. We have not been entirely dormant. We haven't been able to record episodes, but we have been planning some stuff. So
We have been clawing at the doors of Comcast, just letting us in.
Alrighty then. Thank you for listening. This has been our January and February recap. We will see you for our March recap
Very
Have a
soon.
good one,
very
guys.
soon. Have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.